decade, and back here for a grand final and a premiership up for grabs.
Good afternoon, Ryan, and all the listeners. Great to be out here at Mitcham. Spring in the step, glorious afternoon. Get on down to Walker Park because it will be a great game of football here. What's on prospect, and I think when you come to a game like this afternoon, from what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, it's pretty evident that it's a grand final, anybody's game. You put your best foot forward on the afternoon. It's a 50-50 contest. So absolutely, both teams go into the game with confidence that they can win the game. Boronia obviously being a standout team, but Heathmont they don't mind the underdog tag, and they'll take that challenge head on. And I'm sure that we'll speak about it through the three games.
100%. And Scott, we saw yesterday one upset, the boil over. Mitcham defeat the undefeated South Belgrade side. Boronia might actually come in as bigger favourites today against Heathmont, but after seeing yesterday's result, anything can happen.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan, and welcome listeners. It's look, anything can happen. It's finals footy. That's what finals is all about. It's you get to this point, you've worked hard for it, and if you really, really want it, then you can achieve the ultimate. So, looking forward to today's contest. Also, big buzz around the club here. As I strolled in, I sort of pleased to see that all the premiership posters and whatever else have been removed from the ground.
Bleary-eyed people here this morning. I must admit there's a couple of people looking a bit sick and sorry for themselves this morning on the gate.
There's a lot to get to, and we will touch on that game quite shortly. And also joining us, Ray Baird, who was at yesterday's game in a fantastic only the 5 points in it, but certainly after about the probably 5 or 10 minute mark of the third quarter onwards, it was all Mitcham, really.
Look, thanks for having me on that. But look, it certainly was a great game yesterday. And look, Mitcham, they did their homework. They knew they had to shut down South Belgrade with the centre clearances, and they did that beautifully. And look, on the other hand, it's absolutely magnificent. Although I'm disappointed that Mitcham aren't going up to Premier, because Spider, we got great memories of Mitcham being in the top division. The powerhouse they were. They won premiership, but they're there to fight again next year.
Yep.
And I was talking to Matty Clark downstairs before, and he pointed a thing out his head. For either side that wins today, it's going to be very, very hard to back up again next season, because they're going to be the home.
Well, it all changes, right? It all changes because circumstances change. Players decide to retire. Clubs move on in some regard with the way that direction, coaching, might be player personnel. So everything starts all over again for 2024.
Yeah, it certainly does. Premiership number 17 for the Tigers. So you look at them, you look at an East Burwood, a Vermont, and East Ringwood, some of these powerhouse clubs. East back into Premier Division this year. East Burwood have come up a couple of divisions in recent seasons. Mitcham are very close to getting back into Premier Division, and obviously Vermont are still there. So starting to see those powerhouses back at the top level of football. We will touch on that game just shortly, but just cast their eyes, because we're going to have both coaches, Scott Hamill and obviously Matt Clark as well, come into the box and have a bit of a chat soon. So we'll save most of the chat to them. But Ray, just your initial thoughts on this one. Does yesterday's game, where it was a boil over because South Belgrade hadn't lost a game, does that give you a bit of hope that today might be a sort of similar encounter where Heathmont are a big chance?
Yeah, well, look, I said yesterday that grand finals are completely different to the home and away season. Everything goes up a cog, and the pressure there, we saw it yesterday with some easy goals missed, and that's grand final pressure. But you look at these two sides, Boronia have been the best side all year in the competition, and I don't think anyone would argue that.
No.
But on the other hand, Heathmont, They started off scrappily, and they've had a lot of players out. But, gee, over the last month, they're firing as well. So I think, look, to me, this game's 50-50.
It is, and I think what you've got to understand, Ray, and we've been watching football for a very long time, you can be the best team in the home and away, and you tick that off and say, yes, we finished on top of the ladder, and this is what we achieved. But full weeks of finals footy is a totally different thing that happens. And grand final day, as I remember Ron Barasic saying, it's murder day. This is where you get measured by. Yep. You get measured by your performance on grand final day, what you display. Yesterday, Mitcham got measured on winning the premiership. We'll reflect in years to come and say South Belgrade were a great side in 2022, won the premiership, and we only lost a couple of games. And in 2023, went seasoned undefeated home and away, but lost the game that ultimately would have put them in back-to-back premiers, and they would have been an undefeated side. So that's footy is such a big game of hits and misses. And again here today, Heathmont win. they write themselves a chapter in their history, and Boronia, they're looking to take that next step in their club's history. So there's certainly a prize up for grabs.
Absolutely. And Scott, we always talk about sides coming in as favourites, but the reality is first bounce, it's 0-0. The scores are level. There's a full 4 quarters to be won, and upsets can happen. And with the way they've been playing, it's a different side to probably the Heathmont that played Boronia out at Tormore Reserve about 6 or 7 weeks ago. This is a much different. It's Heathmont 2.0, as Dylan Smith sort of labelled as.
Yeah, I can't wait for Scott to come in, Scott Hamill that is, and sort of, talk about that change, because you look at their round, sort of the way they finished, around 18, 17, 16, they had scores around 50, 62, 82, then into the finals. They've kicked 109, 120, 82, so their scoring system has changed immensely, and they obviously realised that coming into the finals to be competitive, they needed that big sort of scoreline. It's just coming up against, obviously, Boronia, who sort of we've found have, I guess, covered sort of all parts of the ground really well through most of their games and through most of the season, to be fair. So it's just how they go about getting through that armour. We spoke off air, Ryan, just about that first sort of 5 minutes, just to keep Boronia in check. Don't let them get the bounce away, and then it's anyone's game.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to jump into the games around the grounds this weekend. We'll start with the Premier Division clash. The preliminary final yesterday at Vermont versus Doncaster East. It was the Eagles 13-7-85, defeating the Lions 8-7-55 to advance through to the grand final next week. Nielsen kicked 5 goals for the Eagles. McCafferty listed as their best player. So Doncaster East, Bell and Hoskin kicked 2 goals each. Simon White listed as their best player. Ray, what was your sort of thoughts coming into this game? Did you expect that sort of performance? Obviously, last week they only lost by a point, so they have been a really strong side. They're definitely one of the top 2 teams, and I think we've got the best grand final possible for Premier Division.
I think so, but I thought yesterday, I actually tipped Doncaster East to win. But I was just talking before to an old friend of mine, we all know him, Alf Molinara, ex-president and everything of Doncaster East, and he said they were very wary in the games where they jump out of the blocks, Vermont. He said, but he said we covered that. He said, but all in all, he said, well, we're not making excuses, but gee, the game before when we played Baldwin, that was a real crunch, hard crash game, he said.
Did they come
and
in
we
sore
had some
yesterday?
sore bodies, and he said, and the guys come off the field at half time, and you could tell they were absolutely knackered.
And I think, Ray, too, what you've got to probably understand, too, for all our listeners and people that were actually at that game yesterday, Vermont started so well with their inside work, but then on the outside in the second half, that was really their point of difference with Doncaster East. They just basically sliced them up. And when you consider that they kicked 13 goals 6 last week, Vermont this week they kicked 13 goals 7. They're pretty consistent in what they do with when they go into 4. And the difference this week was they had Nielsen that went forward and kicked those 5 goals. So they didn't just have the sole reliance on Kalkowski, who we spoke about on the preview on Friday, talking about they played a little bit more unpredictable and put that pressure on. So the shallow entries weren't there as significant yesterday. They went deeper, they put a lot more pressure on and got the ball in repeatedly in there and put those defensive mechanisms in place for Doncaster East. We were just under pressure pretty much all afternoon.
And they came out firing in that sort of third quarter. Spider, Vermont 10-5-65 led Doncaster East by 5-35, only allowing 1 goal. So, let's talk about obviously leading into the premiership quarter. That's a really good result for them.
Yeah, defensively too. We talked about their defence as well. It's been so reliable. The way that they played. Banfield, another exceptional game yesterday. He just continues to get better and grow as a player. So he's one of those driving forces. And I think they've just gathered in the growth and confidence of their team. Look, next week, as we all know, it's a grand final, 50-50 each way. Who knows what's going to happen? Weather might play a factor. It all comes down to what happens. And I think from the point of view, when you think about it, Vermont at the start of the year, no one even gave them a chance after round 2. We all thought, well, hang on, they're probably going to be in the lower part of the ladder, but they've grown a little bit quicker than we all tended to think. So they've made the grand final. They're there. They get an opportunity, as do Roval, to go all the way. Yeah,
100%. We'll leave that conversation for now because we've got the senior coach of the Heathmont Football Club, Scott Hamill, here to have a quick chat before the game. Thanks for joining us before the broadcast. It's been one hell of a final series, carrying a lot of momentum into a grand final now.
Yeah, we are. Look, if you have a look how we've gone the last, even against the last game against Templestowe, there we've actually won each game under different circumstances where we've played. So, look, we feel well prepared. We've got off some good starts, and we've had to come from behind to get us here. So,
has the major change been a bit of personnel? I mean, someone like a Finn Brown coming back in the side. You've obviously had a few injuries in the back end of the season, and we sort of saw how good of a defensive side you were in the season, but what's really impressed us is how quickly you've been able to score in this final series here at Walker Park.
Yeah, look, no doubt Finn's a great addition into our forward half of the ground. He really helps out Bailey Stevens up there as well. But look, the turnaround, I guess, mid-half of the year, we probably lost some games of footy that I actually think, we probably cost ourselves a little bit there. There's a couple of results that didn't go our way, but at the end of the day, we've sort of made it here, and if you have a look at it, we still finished equal second. I think, we've had a terrific year, but we've also, come home really strong, which is great.
Hi, Scott. Good luck this afternoon. Going to be a massive game for you and your club, and it's a great achievement to get to the last game of the season. When you think about your midfield, I come to think about a guy called Blake Tank. I just think that the way that he has gone about his footy in 2023, he's really led from the front, and he's been the big bull in that midfield for you. The way that he's so aggressive with ball in hand, and he's one of those guys that you can just rely on when he's around the footy to get the job done. Once again today, he's going to play a massive key role for you.
Yeah, he will. Lake's been he's been great for us. Obviously recruiting from Blackburn at the start of the year. He's fit in really well, and him himself, Ryan Young in there as well. They, we've definitely got a good, solid midfield, which I think will stack up against theirs as well.
Scotty, Spider mentioned certain players, but I look at the whole team overall. Have you been happy with the way that the whole side has implemented your game plan and things like that?
Oh, absolutely. Coming into a new club, the style's probably a little bit different to previous coach and the way we sort of played and gone about it. You wouldn't expect first year coach of the club to get his position where they are. That's a credit to the group, and it's not just my coaching, it's also the the players we've got at hand as well.
And Scott, you've obviously had the EFNL sort of come down and talk to you throughout the week, and it's obviously been spoken about leading up the outside noise, like, you're probably spoken about it as the underdogs, but listening to the boys, they're up and about, and that belief is really high. Has that sort of been a belief you've created throughout the whole season, or has it sort of just come now that you've got into the finals race?
No, we've had that all year, and you know what, Boronia deserve to be favoured today of the year. They've had an awesome year. Only lost that one game for the year, so they do deserve to go into this game as favourites. But with us, we've always had that belief. We've always backed ourselves in. I think what it's been throughout the course of the year is every time we win a game of footy, it always seems to be an excuse why the opposition lost instead of what we've actually, the good footy and what we've actually done to achieve that result. It's been 10 weeks since we've played Boronia, and when we played them early half of the year, we were close to full strength, and they only got us by 5 points, and we were fairly depleted the second time. So it should be a good matchup.
And we were just talking about sort of, Ryan sort of mentioned in passing, but what's the secret potion been? Because I'd read some scores, like in 16, 17, 18, you scored 82, 62, 50. Now into finals, you've gone 109, 120, 82. Has there been, I know you're obviously saying sort of a change in the forward line, but that's a big change, and is that something you were mindful of coming into that final series to create a competitive score? Yeah,
look, we knew we had a few games back half the year where if we had a couple of guys like a Bailey Stevens or that didn't kick goals, we actually struggled to kick a competitive score, and we probably grinded our wins out. So we've probably just changed the structure around our ball game a little bit, and, how we are presenting the structure up our forwards up forward, but it's also what we're doing with our back half as well to generate that score.
Scott, as Scott here just alluded to, your forwards kick your goals, but you must be very happy with the work of the midfield because they're the ones that get the ball out the centre and get it down there.
Yeah, look, we're pretty lucky to have Nathan Mullinger in the middle, and obviously he's been, Cam Evans has had an enormous month where he's, I actually think he got the better of Bo Mitch in the last game and prelim final. So we've got good ruck stocks, and we've got a lot of depth that can run through our midfield as well.
From a coaching perspective today, Scott, what are the main messaging for you? Just prior, you'll finish this interview, you'll go back down, you'll address the players. what are a couple of the real basic things that you're going to really, deliver to the players just prior to them running out in terms of, to try and reinforce the grand final moment, trying to enjoy the day, but also remember that there's a job to do.
Yeah, look, we've just had our team meeting prior, and I'll obviously chat to them again before they go out. It'll all just be about that enjoyment part, really embracing the day. Like, they don't come around often, so you've got to enjoy the moment you have. And we're playing against a good football side in Boronia where they're going to have good moments throughout the course of the day. So, they kick a couple early. We can't afford to drop our bundle. We've got to make sure we stay in the game. And it'll just be about the guys really enjoying themselves out there and backing themselves in, because what we've done in the past, has got us actually here and held us in good stead. So we'll stick to our structure and stick to our process.
Scotty, it's, when you make a grand final, obviously you have a lot of input into that, but you must have a great crew working around you in your other coaches.
Yeah, I do. I've got great assistants with me. I've enough to have Brad Boronia, and then obviously Michael Pearson. We've got across from Norwood, who unfortunately broke his leg against Boronia round 2. So, and then we've also got Brett Davison on the board. So, yeah, look, we've got a strong coaching crew around us. So, we're well set up on the sidelines.
And also, you just mentioned Brett Davidson. He would just love having control of that magnetic board. What's a guy like his experience bring to that coaching group? Does he bring a little level of calmness to you guys as well? Just to say, hang on guys, walk through it, compose ourselves. Let's actually think about what we're actually trying to do here when you've got to go to that plan B and C and D potentially.
I think I calm him down more when he comes to me.
He's very emotional, I know. But it's good to have someone like him.
Yeah, Davo coached me back in the days playing at Churchside Park as well. So I was captain under him while he was coach. So we've had that good relationship for a long time now. So it's great to have him on board. He's one of the reasons I come here, and one of the guys that sort of reached out and always stayed in touch to get me.
Scott, it's been a fantastic first year for you at the club. Congratulations on making the grand final today. All the best, and we really appreciate you coming in and giving up some time ahead of a busy day.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Scott. All the best, Eddie. Fantastic season for the Heathmont Football Club. They are on one hell of a finals run at the moment, and they will try and continue that momentum into grand final week against Boronia. Spider, just quickly, your thoughts on the way they've gone about this final series. I think we came into that probably into that last couple of games of the season. We were critical of them. I think they lost to Waverley by about 50 points, and yes, there were some people out, but we probably had our question marks. But I mean, as you said, they've been able to turn around very nicely, and I think this ground probably suits the way they play. Yeah,
look, they've just been a confidence team all year. When they are a confidence team, they're up and running, and they've lifted their scoring attitude, and their defensive systems got better. I mean, we did discuss it fairly in depth on the Friday program. So I think from that point of view, they've really deserved their spot. They've really lifted their effort and intensity over a long period of time. So it's a great credit to Scott and his players, but also the coaches around that footy department to be here today and have the chance to have that ultimate success if it's available to them at the end of the day.
100%, and we will touch on this game a little bit more shortly. We were discussing Premier Division in that final yesterday. If you did miss it, it was Vermont winning by 30 points over Doncaster East and booking their spot in a grand final against Rowville. So let's touch on next week's game. Well, obviously, there's going to be a lot of preview during the lead up in that week, Scotty, but your thoughts on this one? Because I reckon it's the two best sides. We look like we've got an absolute cracker of a day next week. I don't want to jinx it, but the sun's meant to be. It's 25.
It was actually because that's where we sort of spotted, sort of mentioned about weather and so. And I wanted to ask you a question. Like, to you, Ray? Sorry for those listening, you can't see who I'm pointing to. Does Rowville take learnings, obviously, from last year? It has to be have spoken about that. That wet weather footy was horrendous, for just playing footy. If that comes around again, and if Ryan's weather prediction isn't right, is that something they talk about, or just let it go and just see what happens?
Well, first of all, I've looked and it's going to be 26 degrees.
Oh, okay.
I've already looked at it. No, look, I think they learn from it. Of course, they learn from it. But the big difference is, Scotty, last year they were a bunch of kids playing in their first grand final, and they were pushed off the ball without a doubt by the bigger bodies of Noble Park. This year I've looked at some of those young kids, and they've bulked up a bit, and they know what's expected now, and the way that Ben Wise has got them with that belief. You know, we've spoken about it so many times, Ryan, that, you know, they can be down 20 points at 30 points at three-quarter time, and they still have a belief that they can win. And I think that belief there, the younger bodies, and I think, look, all in all, as you said, the best two sides are playing in the grand final, and the EFNL can't ask any more than that. And there's going to be there's been some huge crowd. I remember when Noble Park played in their first finals in the Eastern Football League, then Spider, and there have been huge crowds out there, and I think this is going to be a huge crowd.
Yeah, this has got a bit of that 2002 East Ringwood East Berwick crowd about it. You know, that was a very hot Saturday afternoon. You know, high 20s, and that was a magnificent day. Like, the ground was in ripping condition. So, but I suppose,
and the Rams got done.
They got done. East Ringwood went undefeated that season. They were terrific. They come back, kicked 10 goals in the last quarter. East Ringwood, absolutely brilliant. Greg Fremantle coached very well that day, as did and I know Cameron Crowley played well, Wade Porter, etc. But we won't discuss that now. But I think, Ray, when you talk about the learnings, we will find out if they've learned. I mean, we won't know that until the game is played. So they have to go into that game with the mindset, well, there's a game to be won. Because at the end of the game next week, that's when they'll be measured and judged whether it's a failure or whether they've achieved the ultimate success.
But Ben Wise is smart enough to know, look, those kids will run out onto that ground next weekend, and they won't care what happened last week, they won't care what happened last year. All they were interested in, win this game of football.
Who probably comes back in the side? Obviously, Arundel had VFL last week, so I'm assuming he might be back.
He played yesterday for Box Hill Hawks.
Box Hill Hawks. You've got a couple others who, Evans.
Evans should come back in. Shruck will be a big inclusion.
Is that a risk, though, Ray? I mean, bringing that amount of players and personnel back in, because I think that can unsettle the chemistry and the team dynamic of your team going into such the biggest game of the season.
Well, Spidey, you've got to remember, Shruck and Arundel, they played up until 2 weeks ago, so they're part of that side anyway. And the big one is there's talk around, I don't know if it's going to happen, that Showermakers might even make an appearance as well. And if he does, that's going to be huge for Oval.
Would you play? He has to be 100% fit. You can't play him if he's 75
well,
or 80%.
Doing. I know it's only training and there's not all the physical clash stuff, but he's been training the earth off. He works from home. He's been doing all the rehab that he's had to do, and he's a fitness fanatic anyhow. And I just think that there is a risk. I agree with that. But if the guy's available, you've got to play him.
Scotty, this is what I love about finals footy and grand finals footy, where you have these sort of conversations, and someone as good as Showermakers is, it's a win-lose, because whether let's say they lose, you're going to be blamed either way, because if you play him, then it's like, oh, well, we shouldn't have played. If you lose and he doesn't play, then it's, well, you should have risked the roll the dice. So either way, you've got to roll the dice and make a choice. So it's one of those.
Just so butt in for me. What do you got to remember? If you've got Showermakers out there, even if he goes to a forward pocket, he's going to take a very good player, away from the play.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the thing. You can make the call on anything, and you have to make those calls in finals. It's the last call you're going to make for the year. So you've got to roll the dice, give it a go, and hope that on most cases it works in your favour.
Spider, they are the redemption story this year. They're looking for a redemption come grand final week next week against Vermont. Vermont is the surprise story, because they've come from pretty much the clouds last year. Only, where'd they finish? They were bottom 4, I think.
Was it 7th? I thought it was 7th or 8th. Actually, it was 8th.
3 quarters into the season, people were talking relegation for Vermont.
Yes, and I tell you what, I don't want to hear the Vermont people say that we underestimated them at the start of the year, because I had words from Vermont people within the club very worried about their positioning, and now they're saying, well, of course we'll go.
I know for a fact that Wayne Brescia got phone call after phone call last year from Vermont people saying, why aren't we doing a rodeo game? And the direct answer to that was, at that stage, you're not good enough. That's all there was to it. And then Vermont people have got to realise this.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and they've obviously turned it around after losing by 91 points in the match of the round against East Ringwood earlier this year, and it's a big turnaround as we welcome in Matt Clark, the senior coach of the Boronia Hawks. Matt, welcome in. Thanks for joining us before a big day for the club, looking for a second premiership in just 6 years. How are the nerves?
extremely excited at the moment. There's a touch of nerves, but I think if it didn't mean anything, we wouldn't have them. Just I still a little bit of warm up with the guys in, so run them out probably. But no, the mood in the group's really good. I think we're ready. So we know previous history, 2018, what happened yesterday at Mitchell South Belgrade. Voice, and we really focus on that now. So they're loud.
Yes,
hopefully that equates to good footy.
100%. What's the build-up been like for you? Obviously, the last time you played in a grand final, you pretty much came from Heathmont's sort of point of view, playing each week, needing to win to make it. And then this year, you've only played the one game in just the 3 weeks. Is it been a bit nicer to sort of have that break and still obviously working pretty hard on the track? But how's that been this week?
Yeah, it's a really different way to do the build-up. It's probably, if I'm honest, it feels like it's too long to have a week and then play and then have another week. It's your second game in a month. And like these players at this level, they just want to keep playing. We're still fairly young, so games are important, but we've pleasingly been able to replicate a hell of a lot of intensity, match sim, and everything that we want to do with the framework that we're probably not going to get injured. But we're still focused on our tackles, our contested footy stuff at training, and the guys have bought in on it. Last week was really hard, the Saturday, because we had the development team playing on the Sunday, so we had a session with probably 24, 25 guys, and it was brutal. They did about 10 Ks, and anything that you would do. I think we're ready. It's just, I don't know what ideal looks like, so we're embracing what we're dealing with. So.
Yeah, good luck today, Clarkie. It's a fantastic effort to get to another grand final, yourself as coach and your playing group, so all the best for that. See how it goes at the end of the day. The midfield's been an amazing success again this year, guys like Brush and Mitch Mallis, and then obviously Begley that's just come into the playing group this year and taken the competition by storm, and they're going to really hold the key to the contest this afternoon. Yeah,
I think stoppage work's going to be big for both sides. They've been really good. Watching them over the last 3 or 4 weeks at their contest work, their first use from Mullinger and Haynes and these guys running through there have been good. But for me, we've got multiple people running through there. We'll run at stages, Beggs, Colo, we've got Mitch Mallis, we've got those Ryan White on the wing. We've got some good spread all over the joint. Max Brash has been a revelation for us too. He's been someone that really strong-bodied and hard belies his weight probably, but his spread is unbelievable. His tackle press is good. So I think we've got a good balance, and we've probably got 8, 9 players who can run through there, and we'll use them all at some stage today.
Matty, look, to me, a grand final is played in 3 stages. The first stage is your midfield for the 15 minutes. And are you confident that you can get on top in that period?
Yeah, I think even when we're not on top, what I am confident of, that we won't get scored against.
Exactly.
So defensively, I think we've been sound all year. And there's been, Heathmont will have moments where they have control, and we'll have moments when we have control. But I think how we defend when we don't have control is really important. And it's a smaller ground, right? So to what we're normally used to. One kick out of the middle and you're 10, 15 metres out from goal. So we're really conscious that we've got to suffocate a little bit, and when we don't have momentum, how do we shut the game down until we do?
Yeah, and the second part of that then is once you get control in the middle, or even if you haven't got control, any entry into the forward 50, as a coach, you expect a goal, but a lot of on those forwards to do that.
Yeah, I think for me, I try to release the pressure a fair bit, Ray. But we just want to tackle and lock it in. We're a territory team, so if we can get it in there, things happen, right? And I think when you've got Begley, Robertson and these guys, Luke Hannon, Mitch Jello, Dean Grice will be there for a large chunk of the day, and Nathan Hare, they make things happen. So for me, it's just about how do we get it in and keep it there and make them keep defending, and that's when the game opens up.
And my third lesson for the day, mate, is that once that all happens, you look upon your back line. Are you confident that your back line, they've got to come out of defence, sure, but your centre line and forward players have got to give them an option to kick to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've worked really, really hard on setting the ground up all year, and I think one-on-one, although not ideal, our backs are really good competitive beasts, and they use the ball well coming out. So we team defend, so we'll get numbers back, and then we'll get our forwards to connect us up with any dump kicks or any kicks that we need to get out.
And Matt, you've spoken about previously getting the group together on the Thursday, talking about your values. It's obviously a different, exciting week. What's the values that you've spoken about leading into the grand final?
We had a really good session, probably the best session I've ever been involved at any football club, to be honest with you. That on Thursday night, they ran it, they got up and spoke about each other and what they bring to the table and what they mean. And our values are contested footy, looking after each other, and being loud. So celebrating what we value, and we value those key acts that make big differences. So today, you know, they've all got a little note to each other that what they bring to the table and what they value about each other. The care is really high in this group. Regardless of the result today, they're a tight-knit group, and you know, we're going to go out there ferociously. I will say that I think our contested footy will be really strong early, and hopefully, you know, like, I know the crowd will probably want a really close game, and we just want to get on top early. And but we're mindful that they're playing great footy, and for us to break them down, we're going to have to be patient at times too. So it's yeah. Whatever, we're not fearing the result. That's the biggest value we've got today. We are not fearing a win or a loss. We just want to play. Taking the game
on is important, isn't it? Because you've got to be patient at times in a game of footy, because there's going to be key moments in the game where they will have control at some stage, because applying that pressure, and then it'll be up to you guys to come back and counterpunch and then execute your own style.
Yeah, to be fair, they're a good side. They're a really good side.
Well, they wouldn't be here if they
weren't. And that's, you don't make grand finals by luck. You got to do it through really good football, and they're playing their best football for the year. So we know that it's going to take our best football to beat them today, and that excites us a hell of a lot. And again, like, it's been a long time waiting those extra weeks off and that. So we've waited and waited, and I think the way we've dealt with it has been really good. Time will tell. Time will tell. All I've asked them for is just to take the game on. If we make a mistake, we go again. And we've done that all year, so we haven't changed our strategy or philosophy from round one, from pre-season to where we are today. I think the only thing that's changed is our cohesion. Once we lost to Ringwood in round 7, I think the groups got really tight. We reviewed that game, you know, like it was a final, and then we've taken our lessons from there. And to be fair, like, we've played our best footy in the last 6 weeks too.
And statistically, they've probably been a different side in the final series compared to their last few rounds of the season. Having watched them probably for the 3 weeks, have you picked up a couple of things? And what have you sort of noticed that really well, if you want to share with us?
Listen, they've got a game style not too dissimilar to ours, if I'm honest. It looks like they've changed it during the year, and how they set up and how they defend kick-ins, how they want the contest to look like, and how they spread from it it's got a familiarity about it, that I can see. But hey, that's good. They've got a good group. They outside run's excellent for them. I've noticed that. So if they can get it in Haynes' hands and a couple others, they can run it in. And Finn Brown, you know, if you're going to give him a free jump at the footy all day, he's going to take marks or get it on the ground. So we know that you know, Mullinger is going to be really jumping and trying to create a contest. And big Josh Hannon for us has been a rock all year. So we're expecting him and Nooper to double team him and be mobile once the ball hits the ground.
Clarkie, it's a big afternoon ahead. We really appreciate you coming in and giving us some time. Congratulations on your season and all the best for this afternoon.
Good luck with the call, guys. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Clarkie.
Senior coach of the Boronia Football Club, Matt Clark, who's been a fantastic coach for Boronia. Won Turner South before.
Yeah, he's been
the
around.
master coach. If he gets another flag, what number would that be? Because he's obviously won one at Boronia. Did he win 2 at Wonnie South? You'd have to get the fact checker on that one.
We'll have to research that one, but he's won a couple.
He's certainly been one of the masters, and the way they've gone about this year, they brought in a couple of good players, but the players that have been into the side at the moment have all improved, and their reserves have put pressure on some of these guys, and they've performed them better.
If you've got good depth, you're in good stead to be successful, and that really shows, because a lot of the grand finals that we're seeing across all of the divisions, we're seeing teams, seniors and reserves, all playing finals. It's very rare to see just a reserves team playing in a final or just a senior team. You're as good as your depth, and clubs are fully aware of that.
Just the update on the reserve stream at the moment. You can switch to the other YouTube channel to watch the final minutes with the guys calling there. At the moment, Templestowe lead 5-9-39 to East Burwood 5-7-37. We've had a lot of close reserves grand finals this season so far. Hopefully we get a close seniors grand final in just a moment. I believe we'll go to an ad break. Now we've got the Mitcham grand final to discuss after the break. We'll talk about this game in a little more depth, and then we'll bring in the call team just after for the big Division 2 grand final between Boronia and Heathmont.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1
with live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 match of the day coverage.
Welcome back to Walker Park Reserve. Mitcham here, the grand final Division 2 between Boronia and Heathmont. About to get underway shortly. We've spoken to both coaches already, Spider. Just quick thoughts before we get into the Mitcham game from yesterday.
Oh, look, it's going to be a fantastic game, I think. I think Boronia deserve their favouritism. They've been the best side throughout the home and away. Finals is always a different story. They've won their way through the second semi and got to the grand final. Heathmont have had to come through the long path. So it's going to be a question of whether it's been a long, gruelling finals campaign for them and whether they're going to run out of legs potentially at the back end of the game today, especially in the conditions that are presented and the challenges that may present against the Boronia team that like to fast move the ball and can score very heavily and with that outside run and that contested ball, which they do through the midfield. So Heathmont are going to have to be really on task early and set the game up. They don't want to be chasing the game after half-time, but just get the feeling potentially after half-time that's when Boronia might push the button and motor home.
Well, they've certainly got to be winning at half-time if they're going to win. We'll touch on that game a bit shortly. At the moment, in the reserves grand final for Division 2, Templestowe lead 5-9-39 to East Burwood 5-8-38. Is to stay and listen to us on the pre-game, but we do have that other stream on YouTube as well, Scott.
No, I was just going to say, Ryan, like chatting to Matt then just before the break, like it is interesting, like listening to him, and obviously that question about the values and them sort of getting together, sort of, writing notes, their beliefs, the loudness, and I'm down on boundary today, so I'm hoping to hear that loudness down there just to create that finals atmosphere. And I think if they sort of have that sort of, I guess that bit of mongrel about him from the start, it may put Heathmont on the back foot. But interesting to see how both sides respond. I can't wait for that first set of bounce and those first couple of minutes.
Eastbell just got it behind Spider at 5-9-39 apiece. Oh, geez, extra time. The league hates when it goes into extra time. It delays everything else.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
We'll certainly see how it ends up going. But let's jump into the Division 1 Grand Final between South Belgrave and Mitcham. South Belgrave 8-5-53, lost to Mitcham 8-10-58 yesterday afternoon. Fantastic result from the Tigers to win against a side that hadn't lost a game all season. And Ray, I'll start with you, just your general thoughts on the game and the way they sort of unravelled the Saints in that second half.
Well, obviously Winton did his homework going into this, because from the very first bounce, Mitcham gave nothing away in the midfield to South Belgrave. They just absolutely smothered them. They won the ruck contests and got the ball out all the time. And when they did get the ball up forward, Parenti was a target they had to hit, and they did that. And he also handed off a couple of goals to other players. But look, as the Mitcham faithfuls here, I'll tell you what, they were loud in front of us, in front of the caravan yesterday, and good luck to them. What they played the game, they played South Belgrave on their own terms, and it'd be disappointing for South Belgrave, but the season doesn't end the day before Grand Final. It ends on Grand Final night, and Mitcham were victorious.
4 finals, lost the first final against Montrose in extra time, and then 3 significant finals where they played North Ringwood, got the job done, and then they had another go at Montrose and came from behind in that preliminary final. Their second half was just simply brilliant, where they just defended for their lives. Their clearance work was spectacular, and then just their ability to surge forward and score, and then to be able to replicate it again yesterday against that South Belgrave team. You've got to hand it to Neil Winton, the way that he's put that game plan together and the way the players just played it out to the letter.
Yeah, 100%. And Ray, we looked at the... Damien Garter comes out, Treeguard comes out, but just with the way they worked in the midfield, some of these younger guys from Mitcham, Jesse Cherry goes on to win the best on ground medal. The Haller brothers are very young. A lot of these guys came from Furniture Gal actually, so they'll be pretty spewing watching that game, watching some of the players they've missed out on. Jesse Uren was fantastic. Some of these guys really stepped up, and I thought their midfield was really strong.
And there was one player that you haven't mentioned, and I thought he controlled the third quarter, and that was Sam Carney.
Yes,
and I said to you at one stage there, he got a free kick off the ball, and it was, I'm sure, the only reason he got it was because he got under the skin of the opposition. It was that sort of, it was that Hayden Ballantyne from from Freo. He's that type of player. But apart from that, he also got the ball that many times, and he was really one of the players in the third quarter that brought them back into that game.
100%. I saw one of the comments on Facebook yesterday saying, well, we need an EPL system where the top side South Belgrave's best. That's a whole lot of rubbish, because as good as you are during the season, our sport, you've got to be Grand Final day. We've seen this at AFL level, at EFNL level. A lot of sides who come in as the red-hot favourites, they get done, and it's just the way it goes, isn't it? It's
just the nature of sport in this country. We've always played to that system of promotion, relegation. We've always played final series. We've never played first past the post, and I don't think we need to change that system. I think finals are what is what it is, brings out the best in teams, to find out who stands up in the big moments and who is the best team at the end of the season. Just because you finish on top of the ladder doesn't always mean that you're the best team, on the last day of the season, because you still can have your days where you're not playing as well as what you're capable of. So I think from that point of view, I think we should just continue what we've been doing for so long. My only thing is I've been a big advocate for it. I just think that we should just have the 2 up, the 2 down.
That's another conversation.
But we'll have that conversation in a more appropriate round the table discussion.
Well, I thought you'd be more of a traditionalist than just 1 up and 1 down, Spider. Because
I like movement. I think movement. I don't like clubs being stagnant in divisions for long periods of time. We did have 1 up, 1 down for a long period of time, but I think the 2 up, 2 down gives clubs aspiration and ambition to come up and move up and down divisions and have that opportunity to aspire to do something. I think it's great that Mitcham now have the aspiration an ambition to climb back up a division. I think Gonvale, the same sort of thing. Roval, look what they've done over a long period of time. They've had that ambition, and they'll get possibly to live out that potential next Saturday afternoon, winning the ultimate competition. So I think that's where it sits for me.
But the thing with that, Spider, though, like this is only one division that's not really getting the promotion sort of side, and it's only 1 year. So I sort of go, well, you know, if they're good enough, they'll go back to back sort of next year. Whether other teams though have allowed a little bit more sort of flexibility in their list, whether they've sort of seen it as like a growth sort of period, it's really undetermined as to how clubs would play it and stuff. And
look, we can go on more debate in another roundtable discussion, but just briefly, I just think that it keeps every game alive to the last game of the year, and I think that's why Premier was such a great competition this year. We didn't know who was getting relegated pretty much until the last kick of the end of the home and away season. And I think that if we had that system applied to divisions, that makes people want to go and watch local community football at both ends of the scale.
And at the end of the day, tomorrow's going to be not tomorrow, next season's going to be something that people like me have been looking for. It's going to be an even draw throughout all divisions, and that's what you want.
You have to get to that point. So some years they're going to be a little bit of a sacrifice to get to the ultimate goal, and it should be a good season.
Well, of course, and Premier Division as well, with 12 teams, as you said, it's a weighted draw where you get some sides playing multiple. I mean, no offence to a Doncaster, but if you got Doncaster twice this year, it was going to help you out in the long run because you were going to get 2 wins.
But not only that, Ryan, what you've got to look at is that if you get up there, sides that have come up from First Division to Premier now, and it used to be from Second to First Division, the first year most sides played finals. You look at Roval, South Croydon, Montrose, they all play finals in the year because they have the bottom half of the draw.
Right.
But then there's only been a couple of sides, Roval and South Croydon, two that have actually stayed up there. But, you know, it's got to be an even competition. Everybody play each other twice. And this is something, you know, it should have happened years ago, but finally it's going to happen next season.
And I think one that for next year, the reserves sort of coming up for that grand final that was yesterday between Wanturna and Mitcham. I think, you know, Wanturna had probably a very disappointing season. I think they were still would have wanted to play finals, but, you know, to have Mitcham sort of be in the final reserves to win it, I think they've got an amazing list coming in, as do probably Wanturna with back-to-back grand finals for their reserve side. Congratulations!
You've got to give hope though to clubs that are not winning as well. So I think there's got bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, especially like clubs like Nunawading and Croydon North, who dream to be a club that wants to, you know, move up divisions in the years going forward. I mean, Ray, we were here 20 years ago watching Nunawading under Daniel Bellissimo win a grand final in Division 4.
Well, look at Surrey Park. It can happen. It can happen if they go about it the right way.
Mitcham have done it the right way, and they're certainly back on the rise once again. Let's jump into today's game, Boronia versus Heathmont. Ray, you'll be with us during the call, so we'll save your tip for the actual broadcast, but we'll get both yours, Spider and Scotty. Scotty will be out on the boundary today. But the game, we saw what happened yesterday in a bit of a boil over. You give the Heathmont a bit of a chance, but for me, Scott, they've got to be within this early. If they get blown off the park in the first quarter, if they've got a 4 to 5 goal deficit at quarter time, I don't see any way they chase them down. Boronia have the fresh legs. They haven't played as much in the last month. Heathmont have had to back it up each week. So they've got to be off to a hot start, got to be within it at half-time.
Yeah, and it's interesting listening to sort of both coaches. Like, obviously, Matt saying, you know, it wasn't ideal to sort of have the break, whereas probably Scott's thinking, well, yeah, I've had my group going, and they're finding red-hot form. That the word momentum that we speak about often in finals is on their side. But, yeah, it's going to be a tough ask for them because Boronia have set the bar. And speaking, obviously, you know, again with Matt and sort of him saying, oh, I've seen similarities. Like whether Heathmont have sort of changed that game style, something's definitely changed because, like I said, the scoring that they've been doing in this final series was nothing compared to what they were doing at the end of the season.
Oh, 100%. It's a very different side, and if you listen to the podcast on Friday, Dylan Smith sort of went over the different statistics and how much of a better side they've stacked up in this final series, Spider. And, I mean, you look at the midfield, and it's a very hard midfield to stop from Boronia. And even when you've got someone like a Ryan White, the quality player that he is, he's forced to the wing because you've got so much talent in the midfield. Luke Hannon can come in there. You've obviously got Mellis, both Max Brasher coming into the side this season has been a blessing. they've just got so much depth there, and I reckon that's going to really test Heathmont.
Well, it is. And we know that they're a great contested ball side, but on the outside, that's when I think they're at their most damaging, because when ball in hand is their key and they get that ball fast moving, like they have right throughout the course of the season, they can get that ball in deep. There's not too many that contend with guys like Robertson down forward, and when they kick some scores, they tend to go pretty big, and they tend to kick big clumps of goals in a hurry. So I think that's the big factor for me today. I'm just not sure that Heathmont are going to be able to go for longer periods and be able to sustain it. I think Heathmont are going to have to do all their work at the start of the game, put the clamps on this Boronia midfield and just deny them that contested ball and really go to work and with that hard, aggressive, in-close sort of nature, the way that they like to play, because I think if the ball's on the outside, I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep up with a Boronia team.
Ray, up forward, it's a much different looking Heathmont side than what we saw earlier this season, and as Scott sort of alluded to, a lot of pressure on someone like a Bailey Stevens, who ended up kicking the 50 goals. He was kicking 4 or 5 most times when they were getting up, but Finn Brown has kicked, I think, 14 goals from 5 games. That's a huge win up forward, and he can obviously leap, and he's probably going to have to try and get Jarry there moving and try and get him in the air, because I think physically one-on-one, Lake probably has him covered. So it's a very interesting matchup if that's who plays on him.
Look, you would hope that your key forwards perform, but apart from that, there's 2 other guys I think are going to be very important. One of them is Chris Colombo, small crumbing forward.
Yeah, he's good.
Over the years, he's been a great goal kicker. And the guy who kicked a couple of goals right at the finish last year, Jed Hansen, he's another one that you've got to watch, because these guys are...
He slips under the radar.
23 goals.
Yeah, he slips under the radar. We've had so much praise for him in past seasons. This season, there's just sort of gone back a bit, but slipped under the radar, and is just starting to show the spike in graph, which is coming up, and he's going to be very important this afternoon.
Well, I think a lot of the players on the Heathmont list have probably slipped under the radar and haven't been talked about as much. And
probably from the potential point of view, like we've seen what he can do, Hansen, but probably hasn't been able to do it consistently enough. But probably in the last 4 to 6 weeks, he's really brought that form that we know of so often that he produced back in a couple of seasons ago, that he's come back to some of that best form.
And one thing, obviously, as we get our team list in, it is, as we thought, selected. No change for Boronia from their semi-final win over Templestowe. And for Heathmont, Jack Davidson and Bajramov in the side, so they were listed in as the emergencies. And obviously, Bajramov was sort of racing against the clock with his injuries this year, and I would have been quite surprised if they did actually play him. So, as I thought, he won't be out there this afternoon. Spider, I think we've got, what have we got time-wise? We've still got, no, we've got to pretty much go. We've got to wrap this up now. We've got 3 more minutes, so we've got 3 more minutes just to talk about this game just quickly. Ray, where do Heathmont get them today if they can?
Well, it all starts in the engine room, in the midfield. If they can get control of that midfield, particularly early in the game, that can set them up to control that, for the big majority of the time. And I think that's the most important thing that Heathmont have got to get control of.
And Spider, you're about to head off. You'll be here for halftime,
I'll be here for halftime. Looking forward to it.
I just want from you, I want a tip, and I don't want this to go for 4 minutes, but I want a tip, I want a margin, and I want a best on.
Boronia, 40 points. I said it on Friday, and Mitch Mallis will be the best player on the ground.
Awesome. Very nice. Scott, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm looking to the contest. I think it's definitely there for Heathmont. I want to see a really hard hitting sort of start from them. They're coming up against some big bodies in Boronia, which may test them. But yeah, my pick's leading more so towards Boronia
by close sort of margin. Did you think does the smaller ground? Does this ground suit them? Because obviously it's worked pretty well the last 3 times they've played here.
Yeah, it does, and probably good that the conditions are sort of as is.
Yep.
I'm hoping not much rain, because I'm down boundary side.
Yes.
Down boundary side as well. So look, it's definitely within their realms of possibility. It's just they've got to be on from that second that the siren sounds.
100%. Thanks for joining us, Spider.
No problems, mate.
You'll be back for half-time. Scott, you'll be down at the boundary. Ray, you'll be with us in the commentary box. We're going to go to an ad break in just a second. Big grand final to come. Boronia looking for premiership number 10. Heathmont number 6. A fantastic contest ahead. The Division 2 grand final is just around the corner.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in, because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet: pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Boronia Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
Listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1
with live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 match of the day coverage.
Yes, welcome back to Walker Park, Mitcham, for the Division 2 Eastland Grand Final between Boronia and Heathmont. The Reserves Grand Final in front of us here just finished up, and it was East Burwood over the top with Templestowe to win 7-9, 51 to 5-9, 39. If we get a close contest like that, I'll be pretty happy this afternoon. I'm Ryan Long, and sitting next to me in the calling seat is Gavin Casey. Gav, welcome back for another grand final. Grand final number 74 for you?
Maybe. Yeah, it's been a long time. Donvale were in the Premier Division when I started, so or what is now the Premier Division. So that'll give you context. Yeah. It's great to see Surrey Park win the premiership last week. Big upset yesterday. It's just fantastic to get one upset. It's not good for the vanquished, but
no,
it's
not good for South Belgrave.
But to get that, to know that the competition in all 4 divisions is that competitive, that on any given day it can be for the fans and the neutrals like me, and to come here today, I am expecting Boronia to win. But Heathmont are peaking and they're coming to this game in great form.
Yeah, they're a very fascinating side at the moment, and 2 sides sitting to my right are 2 guys who have been around the league for a long time and know their footy. Ray Baird and Wayne Brasher. Ray, you were on the pre-game, and it's great to have you on board for the special comments chair.
Look, every now and then comes along a special grand final, and I think we witnessed one yesterday, and I think we're in for one today. I think this is going to go right down to the wire, but all in all, I just think that you've got to look over the whole season. Boronia have been the best side, and I just think that, I know South Belgrave were as well, and it can happen, but I just think Boronia have just got enough good, bigger key players to take control of the game if it looks like getting out of hand.
And Wayne Brasher as well for the first time this afternoon.
Yes, thank you, Ryan, and good afternoon to the listeners. Yeah, look, this is going to be this is the grand final that I was actually hoping for before the final series started, because I think Heathmont have been in some red-hot form leading into the grand final. They've had to do it the hard way. My main concern is that there is some external noise about fit players coming in that are going to take their place in the lineup this afternoon. I've said this all year. I think the fact that they run 10 to 12 deep through their midfield rotations, I think will overcome Heathmont, and I'm thinking that Heathmont will be competitive for at least a half, but I expect Boronia to run away with the game in the second half.
Yeah, going to be certainly fascinating to see how they play. Both sides have had very different finals run. Boronia just a one game in about 3 weeks. Heathmont have had to play each week and had to win each week to make it here today. So we'll find out in that first couple of minutes on how this game might start. We've also got Paul Uconi joining us in the Stats Centre. Paul, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Ryan. It's good to be out here at Walker Park, and hopefully we get a good contest.
Absolutely. Both sides out on the park at the moment. Heathmont and Boronia, a fantastic contest ahead. We've sort of discussed this game a little bit. And Brash, I'll probably lean into you for more thoughts on this one so far. Obviously, Boronia are coming in as red-hot favourites. Does Heathmont take anything away from what we saw yesterday, or both sides actually, because speaking to a few people from both clubs, Boronia people are now a bit more, obviously they're already aware that they've got to play their best to win, but a bit more aware of the upsets that can happen, and Heathmont probably look at that and go, hey, if Mitcham can do it, why can't we?
Oh, look, I just think yesterday, gentlemen, that you've got to have, in life, you've got to have the underdog win sooner or later. And look, full credit to Mitcham yesterday. They were the underdogs and win. And yes, it does give Heathmont some belief that yes, the big dog can be tamed, but it's all right thinking it. But you've got to actually go out and do it, Ray.
Yeah, that's right, Brash. And look, as I said, look, Boronia have been the best side all year, and I don't see any reason why they can't carry on with that today. You know, as we said about yesterday, Heathmont's got nothing to lose by just going all out. You know, they're coming up against the favourites, and so you've got nothing. Play your normal game, take the game on. You know, if it comes off, it comes off.
Boronia's it's all started from the off-season. They bring in Max Brasher from up Fentrick Gully. Obviously, Josh Begley, we know, up forward. He's played for the majority of the season. Kieran Edwards. They brought a lot of talent in, Brash, and Gav, but also the players who are there, who have been there for a few years. The Hannon brothers have been really spectacular this season. You look at someone like a Mitch Mellis has been probably the best player in Division 2. Someone like a Damon Fairchild has stepped his game up to a new level. So
you get Dean Grice.
Dean Grice comes into the side.
You know,
I actually think there's one guy we haven't even spoken about, and it's an absolute luxury having him playing off a half-back flank at 201 centimetres is Jaden Collins.
Yeah. It's super season again.
What an absolute luxury he is. And the thing is, I think the thing that Clarkey has got with this side is if plan A with a current lineup doesn't work, he's got a plan B and he's got a plan C, because he's got multiple players that can play in multiple positions around the ground. And as I said, with that rotation that they've got, that's going to create a lot of issues for Heathmont throughout the day.
And Gav, probably the big thing with Boronia, I'm looking at them line up at the moment, and you go through the list, and most of them can play multiple positions.
Yep.
A lot of them can run through the middle, different key positions. It's just a luxury to have when, if Heathmont do get on top early, they can easily throw around some magnets and change things up.
Well, I think what's confused with Boronia is their talls are actually runners. They've got long strides. They don't take. They like to run to the forward line, where I think their opposition kick it to their forward line. So it's going to be a different territorial battle. And Clarkey was talking about Heathmont getting behind the ball. That might just suit Boronia, because it allows them to overlap maybe and to create their own space and get the running game going. The battle, I think Heathmont will want to make sure that the ground's a lot smaller than it already is, and it's going to be stoppage. If it's on our terms, release. Until then, they'll try to keep it tight.
Gav, one thing you mentioned, you said that Boronia talls have long strides. You weren't referring to their trousers, were you?
No, they're not big shorts. No.
I also think, too, what's going to be really important for Heathmont, and I don't think we can underestimate, but Mullinger, McHugh and Campbell Evans, that ruck duo, this afternoon are going to have to. They're going to have to play a vital part, because if Boronia get on top in the midfield early and they get silver service from their ruckman, I'm going to find it hard to see how Heathmont are going to be able to scrounge enough forward 50s. Right, to kick a winning score.
It's going to be very interesting, and obviously Evans played a really important role last week against Templestowe in their win, with Mullins Mahue having some time on the bench last week. So he's going to have a massive game. You look at someone like a Josh Hannon, who I think even you said he might win the best on ground medal. Oh, you said Luke Hannon.
Yeah,
okay, there you go. I think either can.
Does that mean he plays in the middle?
Luke Hannon will probably play centre half forward.
Yeah.
And if required, I think Matty Clark will be able to throw him in the midfield rotation with his brother.
Who's the match winner here for Heathmont if they are to get up? Who do you look at to probably needs a really big game? Is it someone less surprising?
Yeah,
or?
I'll name one. Harry Isaacs.
Yep. Another big game last week, ran free.
Yeah, he's a jet, and he can kick it long, gets on the ball, intercept marker, which they'll need a lot of, and maybe that repel off half-back might be a vital part of Heathmont's day. So I'm thinking if he has a good day, he'll get a lot of opportunities to springboard the attack from half-back.
I think Bailey Stevens might need to... he's going to be one of their important runners throughout the afternoon. I expect him to be prominent, but even a guy like Boronia, I think he could be prominent as well. He's had a good final series. But apart from that, look, it's a pretty even side. You could probably make a case for Jordan Haynes.
Burley off for wing might get a bit of run going.
He might, but he's going to have to run extremely hard.
Just listening to your comments, boys, I agree with you. I don't think there's going to be one standout player for Heathmont. If they're going to win this game, it's going to be a team effort.
We're going to go down to ground level because Dyson Baker's about to kickstart the presentation.
On behalf of the Eastern Football Netball League, welcome to Walker Park, Mitcham, for today's Eastland Division 2 Senior Grand Final. We begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, and we pay our respects to their elders past and present. We extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. Congratulations and best of luck to both competing sides in this afternoon's decider. Your officiating umpires for today's match. In the field, Caleb Webb, Dean O'Neill and Zach Dent. On the boundary, Brad Stelfox, Logan Shelton, Leah Young and Caden Brown. And in the goals, Jesse Fry and Greg Alford. Ladies and gentlemen, Boronia have won the toss and will kick to the scoreboard end of the ground in the first quarter. I will now ask you to be upstanding with the players and umpires for the Australian National Anthem.
Here we go, Division 2 Grand Final underway in just a few moments. The all-conquering Hawks losing just the one game all season by a single point. Otherwise, they've been dominant, taking on the Heathmont Jets, who have been the fairy tale story of the final series in Division 2. One side will walk away with the premiership shortly, Brash.
Sorry, Ryan. Look, just having a look at the two sides, and you have a look at it on the paper, you compare the two sides that took the grand final yesterday, and for both sides, both Heathmont and Boronia, they do have there's a lot of experience on both sides. These are some of these guys from these clubs have been playing for 2 and 3 years for their respective clubs, and they've just topped up with some quality players from other clubs, and this is what makes me believe it's going to be a really close contest.
Absolutely. We go down to the boys on the boundary at the moment. We've got Jared Beanland down there with Scott Hardy. Boys, what's the conditions like out there, the atmosphere?
The conditions are pretty still. There's not too much wind to speak of. It doesn't look like it's going to rain either. So, fairly neutral conditions. The atmosphere, it feels pretty, it's buzzing at the moment, I think. It seems pretty electric, and the crowd is rather large as well. I'm impressed by the turnout.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's huge on the far side. Boronia have got there, obviously, cheer squad set up on that side. It's packed all around, everywhere you look, which is really impressive, and more thronging over towards the scoreboard as well.
Just quickly on your tips down there.
Oh, I've got Boronia by 40.
Yeah, and I've gone Boronia 24.
Boys, Brash, your tip this afternoon?
I'm going Boronia by 18 with Luke Cannon to be awarded the best player on the ground.
Paul Ukona, your tip?
I'm going to go Boronia by 20.
Raybed?
Boronia by 15 and Josh Begley for the medal.
Gav Casey?
Boronia by 20.
And the medal?
Good question. I'll go Luke Hannon as well, actually.
There we go. I'll go Hawks by 7 goals and Jared Lake to win the best on-ground medal. We're all set to go. Heathmont, big underdogs coming into this grand final. Packed crowd here out at Walker Park. It's a cauldron-like atmosphere.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Bit of argy-bargy, Liam Douglas and Max Brasher.
Absolutely. We're all set to go. The umpire holds the ball up. Division 2 grand final. Gav Casey to take us underway.
Welcome to Walker Park, home of the Mitcham Tigers, premiers yesterday. Who will be premiers in Division 2? The first out of the middle will go to the Hawks, but been called back. Fairchild was running inside the 40. 45, and he was going to load up for first shot on goal, but it's free kick back to Brasher in the middle, holding off the ball it was. He goes out wide, outer wing, finds a hit-up target, crunched late, and Colombo saying he's milking it, but the Hawks got control of the ball, going to the scoreboard end. It's in the hands of Bolton. Bolton goes wider still. Drop mark by Duke. He didn't have good Dukes then, and he let it through and out of bounds. So it's about 50 out. So the marks here, when you see it on the Facebook or YouTube coverage, it is a 45 here at Walker Park. And the Hawks are approaching their forward entry. Just an overlap run. Ball kicked in. High up and under. Robertson's going to be underneath. It might not get to the contest, and it's punched out. And nicely conceded there by Hancock, who gets it out to the back pocket just in front of the scoreboard. 1 minute in, yet to score. So the Hawks favourites today. Noobs will do the ruck work. He's a tall man. Once he's got front position, he'll get a good tap down, but it's under now the pack. No clear possession one, and the Jets are holding up nicely.
Minute and a half into this grand final. Inside, the Hawks attacking half, the tap down. Brasher looked like he was held as Fairchild. Kick was smothered there by Haynes. Heathmont do the defending work to clear this ball out back in towards the middle of the ground. Who's going to run onto this one? Burgess comes in there and finds the footy, picked up by Zach Brasher. Handball cut off here. Now a chance to Jordan Haynes again. Gets his handball off. Tap a little forward there from Douglas. Got it off to Mullinger McHugh, and they're off. Looking to go inside 50 for the first time. Ball bouncing. Doing well there, Kieran Edwards. Picks it up, has Lake by his side. Decides to go down the line. And almost had Collins there to take the mark. And he's run into a bit of trouble here. And he's caught, and Heathmont will take this through the hands of Liam Douglas.
Did he think he was on the ground by himself then?
Yeah, he went to sleep a bit, didn't he?
So Douglas down the line, it's cut off. Well done there by Fletcher Duke. Inset mark. Goes down the line again on that far side. Finds his target there in Jaden Collins. Jaden Collins sends the Hawks into attack. In a mark inside 50, almost there, taken by Luke Hannon. Did well to keep it in front of it, passed it off to Kieran Edwards in a tough angle for the first goal of the grand final. Hawks on the board, 1 straight 6. Jets yet to score. We've played 2.5 minutes into this grand final.
They're going to have to tighten up on Collins on that half-forward line. They just can't afford to let him run amok all afternoon. Otherwise, he's just going to take plenty of possessions.
What a kick that was from the pocket. Sort of running away from goals, but hooked it across on the right foot, right pocket. What a snap. So the Hawks often racing for the premiership early on with one straight kick. But Heathmont have done pretty much all the defending. Good run by Evans to knock it forward, but again it's the Hawks winning the clearance. Kick, bouncing ball. It's going to be intercepted by Isaacs. He gets knocked down as he charges through the middle of the ground, so he'll get a free kick and he'll bounce straight up with the ball. Isaac looking for options, goes out wide of the half-forward line. Leading option comes out, Malone. Just spilled mark, ground level. White does some steady work, but he's close to the line and his kick doesn't hit his target, but he's happy to get a touch finder wing side of this grand old grandstand.
Yeah, we go three and a half minutes, and Boronia just look a bit more confident with the ball with what they've had of it so far.
Trying to break free of the pack was Malice, but Heathmont snare it and they get inside their 45. Drop mark by the defender there in Brasher. Goes out to the back of the pack. A lot of pressure on Lake, running to his own goal, but he holds up in the tackle and doesn't concede the ball 15 metres out from Heathmont's goal. And again, they're just getting it forward, getting it to a dangerous spot. Hand pass out of the pack, doesn't find a target. Collins runs onto it, the big man under a heap of pressure. He spilled it out to Young. Young gets around one. He's a quick kick, just didn't get the journey, so it's been mopped up. And Bolton tries to clear his defensive area, gets it out of the 45. But again, Heathmont have got a few numbers if they can get their hands on it. But ground level again, picked up by Malice. What a star he's been. Dodges a few, gets into the open, gets a hand pass forward. Can they break through? Hand pass intended for Luke Hannon, didn't get there. Chopped off, and Heathmont go inside 50 again. Knocked over in the tackle. He didn't claim it, and Mullinger McHugh will get the free kick because he got his hands on it temporarily, and he was tackled to the ground without possession, and he'll have the shot at goal.
Yeah, the free kick was there.
Yeah. So it's interesting that because of his ankle injury, he's not going to ruck as much as we assumed. He'll be playing forward, and now there's a blood rule which will stop play, so we can have a general chat of what we've seen 5 minutes in.
Well, so far Boronia have been controlling the football better than what Heathmont have.
Boundary.
We'll go boundary side for a quick comment as the changes are made.
The man coming off with the blood rule is Caleb Quirk, and it just looks like he's going to be patched up and will probably be ready to resume pretty soon.
Heron runs on, but the ball and the spotlight's on Mullinger McHugh from 45 straight in front. He gets the toe on it. Will it just get the journey? But it tears off to the left, and it's a minor score. So Heathmont on the board in this grand final. They're 1 point trailing Boronia at 1 straight 6 minutes into this first term.
We have said the Jets have to get off to a quick start if they are to win today, so they've got to take every chance they get up forward. The skipper here, Harry Burgess, to clear it out of defence for the Hawks. Long kick down the line, out Collins, got the tap down. Hannon's there, got his handball off to Mellis, and he's off. He's got some space, finds Ryan White in the middle of the ground. The kick is a good one. Finds Jake Mellis. Jake Mellis inside 50, defending first. It falls into the hands of Begley. Shot on goal is to the right, and it's a minor score. Boronia 1-1-7. Heathmont one behind. 6.5 minutes played in this first quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We'll go down the boundary to Jared Beanland.
Got a couple of early matchups here. Jared Lake is following around Finn Brown. Jess Bolton has picked up Mullinger McHugh, who's playing deep forward for the Jets. And at the other end of the ground, Tom Hancock has gone to Josh Begley, and Ruben Brown has gone to Robertson.
Hancock's got it in hand as he does the kicking out duties for the Jets. Goes long, gets it to almost the wing on the outer side, but Boronia do spike it down, claim possession, but wrapped up in a tackle half forward for the Hawks. Evans, smaller but bulky man, will do well as a competitor. Roving duties did go to the way of the Hawks, but it's a quick kick that finds its way out of bounds. 50 metres around from the Hawks' goal. 7 minutes in. Boronia with the only goal on the board to Edwards. What a snap it was from the pocket. And they've probably had more territorial advantage so far. Be interesting how they share the ruck duties between Hannon, Josh Hannon and Noops. Hannon did do well, gets it down to his Rovers. Now Malice running onto it, hands it over, gets it to Hannon. Luke Hannon dodges around a couple, gets onto his right in open space. Robertson will shepherd, but it was just missing, and Robertson didn't know where he was at to try to claim the mark. Minor score to Hannon. Boronia 1-2-8, leading Heathmont 1 behind. Let's go to the stats with Paul.
The clearances are 6-2 Boronia's way at this early stage.
On top early is Heathmont. We'll look to clear this one out. Long kick out of their back half. No mark taken. Ball hits the deck. Who's going to get there first? Grabbing it now, Heathmont. They gain a bit of territory. It's going to be Hannon here to maybe run onto it. Evans got a boot to the ball, kicking it out of bounds. So we get a boundary throw in. About 55 out from home for the Jets. Kicking to the White Horse Road end of the ground. Trailing by 7 points, 8.5 minutes into this first quarter of the grand final. Had a great finals run, 3 final wins in a row. Boronia have had to play just the one final in 3 weeks, where they thumped Templestowe a couple of weeks ago. Very different lead-ups to this grand final. Hannon got to tap out there this time, tapped it forward. Here's Fairchild, wrapped up in the tackle here, and we'll get a ball up on that far side. The Maroondah Highway end.
White Horse Road starts way down where Warwick Road.
You can see as the day goes by, those bigger bodies of Boronia might be able to break those tackles down.
So here we go. You can see a clearance here. Grabbing it first was Ryan Young. Caught by Fairchild. We'll get another ball up.
Both sides have settled very nicely into this grand final.
So Hannon back out of the ruck again. He's had a strong start so far, looking for Jake Mellis. Here's Haynes. Couldn't pick it up cleanly. This time another Jets player does, but he's caught in a tackle right away. And again, another ball up. Was go to the stat centre with Paul Uconi.
Tackles are 9-5 Heathmont's way.
So Hannon again in the ruck, got the tap out. Punch forward there by Young. Looking for Colombo. Duke's in there. So's Jared Lake. Mellis underneath it. Hannon gets a handball forward. There's a push. There's going to be a free kick here to the Hawks. And they'll be going to Jake Mellis.
Lone Freddie could have seen that.
Yes. Not wrong there.
Jake Mellis to take this. Look for an option up forward. Goes down the line towards the boundary side. And from behind, punched away. Evans got the handball off to Isaacs. Isaacs off to Haynes. Haynes gets past Grice. It's a kick forward, but it's cut off by Jake Mellis again. Fletcher Duke picks it up. Kick forward, and there's Jordan Keynes, the skipper. He's off to a good start for the Jets. Intercept mark. On centre wing. Sends Heathmont forward to 1-on-2, and the one wins out. Liam Malone will have a chance to put Heathmont's first goal on the board, gentlemen.
Yeah, good contested mark there by Malone. Right under the pump from 2 Boronia defenders.
It was a perfect kick too, coming into that forward 50.
So Lee Malone will line up. A bit of an angle, about 30, 35 out from home. Kick on the way, we'll see behind the crowd, likes it. And it's home, the Jets are on the board, 1-1-7, trailing the Hawks 1-2-8. 11 minutes played in this first quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Boundary.
As we go boundary side to Jared Bentham.
Caleb Quirk's been patched up and has returned to the ground.
Thank you, Jared.
What I like about Malone last week is his ability to go in the ruck and help out Evans, and keeps him in the game. And when you're getting your hands on it, those marks can really stick once you've got your confidence up.
And it was a very positive lead as well, and a great kick to him.
So Malone's going to be a great option for Heathmont. They'll probably have to, might have less inside 50s, but with Brown and Malone and those types converting, if they can keep their efficiency up in the forward line, they'll be in this contest big time. Dodging out is Duke, hands it over to Noops. Hand pass onto the runners, not yet eventuated for Boronia. They're working around, can't get it to Malice. Now the release hand pass doesn't work out, so Mullinger McHugh gets it off, and Brown gets a high up and under. No mark taken for the Jets in the forward line, so clearing kick goes in the middle of Walker Park, bounces and goes long. Grice was in there and thereabouts, but couldn't get onto it. Isaacs and Co under a heap of pressure. The punch didn't go to advantage, and Boronia get it forward. Nice mark on the to Jallo. Jallo gets up quickly from his slips catch. He can't spear a pass in, and no mark taken in the forward line for Boronia. The defence hold up malice for the Jets, and picking himself is O'Connor. We got some stats.
Yep, the inside 50s are 6-4 Heathmont's way.
Hannon won the tap. The Jets under heap of pressure at ground level. Fighting for it was Van Leeuwen. He held up nicely and then made sure he didn't escape the pack. The umpire, a little bit of nice footwork there, but he just couldn't get it to himself on the bounce. Pulls it up now. 30 out from goals for Boronia. Nice punch out long. But it's now a contest for the ball. Malice in there and thereabouts. They share it through the Malices. Smothered ball. No inside. 45 for the Hawks. Bouncing around. Numbers might win out for the Jets. And can they propel themselves off half back? It's a one-on-one contest. Only two forwards. Forward of centre as it's picked by Malone. Malone goes long to that one option. Up in the forward line. Late contest by Young. He does the spoil. Bodywork check there. It comes ground level ball. Still gives it Jets an opportunity. It's been thrown away by the Hawks defence. Now a big snap. But it's all going to be the Hawks last line. Late spoil. Oh, not a spoil. Haynes took the grab. I think he intended a spoil and then he realised he's the only one who could mark it. So Haynes has got it. Goal square. It's going to be a certain goal for the Jets. Have a look at the video.
The Boronia probably jumped out.
So we did the cheers are for the goal because that was a certainty. I reckon Haynes had every attempt. He knew he was 1v2, but then he went up and he's like, I could mark this, and he did.
Boundary.
It's 2-1-13. Now the Jets lead Boronia 1-2-8 as we go boundary side.
I'd love to know the stats around the tackling pressure. It seems Heathmont's tackling in their forward line is huge. Or both sides, I'd love to know, but I think Heathmont have got the advantage.
Yep, the tackling pressure, Scott, is 12-7 Heathmont's way.
Well, here they go again. The clearance there, Brayon. Can they get another mark? Haynes has had a flyer to this start of the game. Big pressure here for the Hawks, back 6. Trail by 5 points.
Boundary.
Coming up to the 15-minute mark, the first quarter. Jared Beanland.
Another potentially important matchup is Bailey Stevens. He's being followed around by Zach Brasher.
So Malone in the ruck. Cleared out here from the Hawks. I believe that was Jake Mellis. Out the back. Heathmont have got some numbers here. Hancock is able to pick it up now. Back into attack. Hawks got all the numbers. Collins, strong hands, takes the mark and looks to play on right away. Gives Jess Bolton a bit to do. We'll go back to Collins. He's had plenty of it early. That kick bouncing towards the boundary line right in front of the Boronia coaching box.
Not deliberate as a free kick, but almost deliberate that he...
Well, he looked in the corridor and there was nothing there, so I think it might have been deliberate.
Yeah.
Some perceived pressure there for Boronia.
It's a boundary throw in. Good start here from Heathmont. Tap out the back from Mullage Mahue. Picked up cleanly. That's Brayon. It's cut off now by Duke. Couldn't quite pick it up. Now it's a chance for Lake Tink. Wrapped up in a tackle inside 50 for the Jets.
He tried to get the free kick with the head jolting back,
He wanted it. Couldn't fool the umpire. Malone in the ruck. Tap down. Dangerous position here for the Hawks. Here's Max Brasher. Got the handball out. Looking for Jake Mellis. It's cut off there by Greason. Going to get a stoppage inside 50. 16 minutes into this first quarter. 2-1-13 the Jets, 1-2-8 the Hawks. Division 2 grand final.
Scott Hammer would have to be happy with the way his side's crashing the contest.
Yeah, the tackling pressure from Heathmont's been enormous in this first quarter.
Malone punches forward. Will it open up for the Jets in their forward line? That was just when the player had his head over it, got taken high, and Phillips will shake it off and take a free kick, a relieving one for the Hawks. Keeps the boundary side. He's hoping for Hannon in good position to take a mark. Only one-handed attempt will allow the Jets to break through, but they don't get breaking through the tackle of Hannon. And it's going to be a ball up 55 metres out from Heathmont's goal. So the momentum has switched. Converting opportunities, it's amazing in Aussie rules football what it does for confidence all around the ground. Trying to burst through was Brasher, but it spills out to Malice. Malice gets it over to the runner. The runner being White, goes through the middle of Walker Park. Now a short pass in the leading opposition. Robertson got it. Great play, Boronia, and this is what happens when they get out and open an overlap run. Give them time to pass it in, and Robertson honours it with a great lead up, and the hit up was perfect.
That was a great piece of outwards play by Max Brasher there. He split the pack and got the handball to Mellis, who created the overlap.
So Robertson has kicked 46 for the year. He'd like to get on the board just to get his confidence up, because he'll be a great option all day.
He's got the Boronia faithful right behind him, I believe.
From a 45-degree angle, he just intercepts the 45 with his approach. It's now tearing in. It's the beautifully come from right to left. Well, no one was celebrating with me.
looks good.
It looked good, and I'm mistaken. Sorry about that, Boronia fans.
So the Jets will clear this out. Here's Isaacs. Had a big weekend against Templestowe in the preliminary final, and he's off. Long kick down the line, looking to go forward. Down at ground level there. Mitch Mellis was first to grab it. Get a ball up.
Brash, Heathmont are not afraid to kick the ball high into that forward.
No, and they've got to. They do have to take the game on.
Certainly do. So ball up about 50 out from Heathmont's goals. They'll get a little kick forward, which is cut off. Mullinger brought down in the tackle. Another ball up right where we were. 18 and a half minutes gone in this first quarter. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Thanks for joining us. Radio Eastern 98.1 FM. Now Facebook and YouTube streams. And there he is again, Mitch Mellis. The handball off. Gets so much space. Found Edwards. Edwards finds a target. Hit him up nicely there in Nathan Hare. Had a good season as well. He's plays on now. Can they get it out the back? Who's there? Almost a chance. They keep it in front, and seeing it out there is Hancock. We'll get a boundary throw in.
Where Boronia have a decided advantage is when they get the ball on the outside and they start running. That's where Heathmont have got to stop that at all costs.
Yeah, they look dangerous. Tap down there. Here's Max Brasher in a tight angle towards the goal square. Begley got the hit out to Grice. Begley again picks it up. Wrapped up in tackle by two Jets. We're going to get a ball up. Very close to the Boronia goals here.
Well defended then by Heathmont.
Yes, so they hold on here, the Jets. Ball up. Mullinger Mayhew, tap down. Chance for the Hawks here. A lot of plays around this contest. Mullinger Mayhew. Short kick is cut off by Max Brasher. Handballed it out. Here's Fairchild, picks it up. Throws it on the left boot. Towards goal. And there it is. It's home. Fairchild strikes. And Boronia get their second. 2-3-15. Heathmont 2-1-13. Coming up to the 20-minute mark. That was a goal
that Boronia had to get, because Heathmont, for the last 5 or 6 minutes or so, they've been controlling the game, and just to get one back like that was a big bonus.
Once again, it was the in-ball get by Max Brasher in that pack to once again free the contest to give Fairchild that extra 5 metres to kick the ball for goal.
Smokey for the best on ground medal, I reckon. Gav, Fairchild.
Is there anyone Brasher naming the prize? And we're back in the middle of Walker Park. No clear winner out of the first ball up. Scoreboard reads 15 plays 13. What a great grand final it's been so far. 20 minutes in. Ball spits out forward from Boronia, but running back with the flight of it is Burley. Hands it off to a teammate. He might get the handball received. No, he doesn't. And he might have got it way through the middle. Haynes is on the run. Long ball in. Malone just on the bounce, has to smother it down to ground to keep it in his area. Goes in the tackle, ball spits out. The defences are being harassed out of Boronia. Brasher, there it is, Collins getting over to his teammates. That run-down tackle, he didn't have much opportunity, and I think Stevens with the tackle. Pretty stiff was the Boronia player. I reckon he got rid of it legally.
Oh, he got rid of it legally. I don't know. He was so quick you couldn't really tell.
I didn't see that.
He was pushing the back, I think they said.
There was too much congestion around that to actually give it definitive.
It was just the pressure of
pushing the back
to keep the ball inside.
Okay, so it was a push in the back, and Stevens will take the free kick. He's kicked 50 goals this year. If he kicks his 51st, it'll mean Heathmont will have a lead in time on first quarter of this grand final. Not much of an angle, gets on a bit of a gallop, and he drives it home. Stevens is on the board. Heathmont back in front. 3-1-19, leading Boronia 2-3-15, 22 minutes first term.
Boys, they've got to be pretty happy with this start from a Scott Hamill perspective.
Oh, look, it's a perfect start for Heathmont in the grand final, and that's exactly what we want. We want a really tight contest. Both sides are having their moments at the moment. Heathmont are just playing a little bit better. Their tackling pressure just seems to be worrying Boronia at the moment.
So back in the middle, Hannon got the tap out. There's Fairchild. Here's Burgess now, the skipper. Throws the ball on the right boot. Forward it goes. Mark dropped. And we might get a stoppage here about 50-55 metres out from home for the Hawks. Trailing by 4 points. 22 and a half minutes gone in this first quarter, Division 2 grand final. And the ruck there, Evans. Ball goes forward here for the Jets. Colombo is well tackled by Bolton.
Brash,
that ball up back in the middle.
For mine, the reason why Heathmont are doing so well, they're just going in their forward 50 a bit better than what Boronia do when they go forward.
So, no movement. We're back Another stoppage here, coming up to the 23-minute mark.
I think Evans is also breaking even in the ruck, giving Heathwood some chance in the midfield.
So there's a tap out this time from Hannon, grabbing it first there, the Hawks. Free kick here has been awarded to Harry Burgess. High contact, passes it off right away to Mitch Mellis running by. Has got Brasher there. He's got Collins. Collins inside 50, leading there is Begley out the back. And the Jets swoop on this one. And Malone in the middle of the ground has the mark. He's got a runner here in Brayon. Brayon can take a bounce if he wants. The kick is good and it finds Stevens. Bailey Stevens will line up for his second in just 3 minutes.
Got caught on the turnover there, Boronia.
Stat centre Paul Uconi.
3 marks inside 50 to 1 in favour of Heathmont. That was just what I was saying. Their control and they go inside forward 50 is far better than Boronia's. I would like to see Begley right on the goal line. When he lead to the top of the square, because when he led that time, he was 40 metres out.
Bailey Stevens kicked the last one. Probably a little bit further out, maybe about 40 metres, 45 metres. He'll kick this on the arc, and that is a shank off the right. Out of bounds on the full. Did not connect to that one well.
That's a let off.
So the score remains the same, 3-1-19 the Jets. The Hawks 2-3-15, 24 and a half minutes played in the first quarter. Boundary side with Scott Hardy.
You can see from Heathmont, that's just a mirror image of what Boronia did at the other end. Just a cleaner possession, but yeah, just missing with that shank.
Long ball, Collins at half back. Used all his advantage of being 200 centimetres. Takes the mark at half back. He spears the ball to half forward. Burgess on the lead, takes it. Nice steady play for Boronia. Long ball in by Burgess. Leading options, Robertson late to the contest. Oh, he's been crunched by a big pack. Falls to Fairchild. Fairchild loads from 45 to the goalpost. Right, is it a mark just before the line or a score? It's a minor score. No mark claimed by Boronia. And they got up and running from a steady start from defence. 2-4-16, trailing Heathmont now 3-1-19.
So Wade Van Leeuwen to take this one out for the Jets. They'll be happy to go in front at quarter time. They can hold on to this lead in the last couple of minutes. The clearing kick is cut off by Jared Lake. Bumps into Evans there, picked up by Fairchild. He's had a good start off to Hannon. Off to his brother in Luke. Inside 50 here. There's the umpire's paid something downfield. So
dumping
direction of the Jets.
Dumping tackle, penalised.
It was the other umpire, not the one controlling the play.
Yeah. He was in Boronia's forward line, so he had a clear panoramic look.
Yeah.
So the Jets at Ryan Young to take this one. Dylan Smith this week didn't know who he was when he went to interview him. He'll know him by the end of the day if they get up. The kick down the line, cut off by Collins.
He's been outstanding at the moment, Collins.
He has. Short kick finds Mellis.
Very
Mitch Mellis.
15 kick.
Yeah, just on. Just 15. Mitch. Finds Collins again. There he is. He's had a red hot start. Find Bolton. Went through his hands. Noobs picked it up. Got it back to Bolton. Back to Noobs, under a bit of pressure here. He's being chased inside 50. Heathmont do well in defence, takes the intercept mark.
Heathmont standing up nicely in defence there, but that pass is a bit too much. Lucky it was a bit too much from Hannon, and getting up with the free kick is... Not sure who that is, sorry.
Mullinger-McHugh.
Oh no, who's had it before? We'll hand it to the umpire because it's quarter time in this great grand final for Division 2. It's Heathmont leading 3-1-19, Boronia 2-4-16. Just go through the goal kickers before we sign off. For Heathmont, Malone, Haynes and Stevens have kicked one each, and for Boronia it's Fairchild and Edwards kicking the first of the day. So going to the break at quarter time, Heathmont lead this grand final 19-16.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her two young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. Let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The first time I met the team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
Listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1
with live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 match of the day coverage.
Welcome back to Walker Park, Division 2 Eastland Grand Final. Boronia taking on Heathmont, and the quarter time score reads 3-1-19 to the Hawks, 2-4-16. I'm Ryan Long, joined by Gavin Casey, Ray Baird, Paul Uconi and Wayne Brasher. Brash and Ray, your thoughts on that first quarter? Great start from the Jets.
Yeah, it was, and it's exactly what they wanted. They broke even in the midfield with Evans, nullifying Hannon's ruck work. I just thought that Heathmont went into their forward 50 a little bit cleaner, and I think Boronia in some cases are over-committing, and their back line just seems a little bit out of sync because of the fact of the way that Heathmont are kicking the ball into position into their forward 50.
You summed it up beautifully, Brash. It's the way that Heathmont are going into the forward 50 makes a difference for me. Look, it's probably pretty even in the middle, but I would like to see Begley back on the goal line, because when Boronia go forward and they try to kick to him, he's 40 metres out and they're kicking the ball over his head anyway, so play him back on that goal line and get the ball in the danger zone, which is right in the goal square.
Obviously there's a bit of work. Look, I think both sides, let's go boundary side.
Yeah, thanks, boys. I'm joined by Brony's coach, Matt Clark. Matt, it was a big first quarter from both sides, and the tackling pressure was intense from both sides, but Heathmont got the jump early.
Yeah, totally what we expect, and we spoke about in the rooms. We're just going to be patient today. To them, they came with some real heat, and I thought we overused the football. We went for that 1 or 2 extra handballs and short entries when we could have gone deeper and put them under real pressure. Hopefully we'll adjust this quarter.
And it is the second quarter. You do really well in the second quarter. Anything you're changing, or just stay with the flow?
We're just going to balance the numbers and get deeper entries. That's our key.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, he's right, and Ray hit the nail on the head. Long. Right, use your tall forwards to advantage. Robinson probably can play the leading forward with Begley dropping back into the goal square.
And as Matty said, go deeper into your forward 50.
Does it go boundary side, Jared Benley?
I was in the huddle at Heathmont listening to Scott Hamill, and he mainly just focused on the fact that they're being beaten on the inside. The clearance numbers just aren't in their favour quite at the moment. He's happy with the short game, he's happy with the pressure, he's happy with the inside 50s as well, but it's the main thing they need to figure out is the inside work.
Well, we're all set to go for the second quarter. It's the Jets leading by 3 points. The quarter time was a unanimous tipping from us. All had the Hawks in all by at least 20 points, I believe. So
Collins has now gone on to Malone. That might be a better matchup for Boronia. Height for height, and obviously some fitness as well. Collins can obviously run with his opponent.
So set to go, second quarter of the grand final. Gavin Casey.
Rucks go at it. Hannon doesn't go the leap, so allows Mullinger and McHugh get the tap down. So it's one their way. Goes Heathmont. Goes inside 45. Colombo gets onto it. Into the corridor he goes. Hand passes it over to Stevens. Stevens gets it even wider. They can't get a kick at goal yet, and that kick didn't really come off the boot. So it's been sharked by Boronia, and they will get out towards Luke Hannon on the wing. One-on-one, what brute streak. Knocks his opponent on. Gets the hand pass to the runner. Bounce by Malice. He nearly done a second bounce, but he spears it up to the option. Drop mark inside 50 by the Hawks. And not going on with it is Begley. And the umpire was quick to blow a whistle there because it seemed like play did go on a little bit.
Once again, Boronia, when they get the ball on their terms and they start running, Heathmont can't keep up.
Rucks go at it. Nicely won down by Noops, but he didn't have a rover for it. And Heathmont just getting in the way there with just check number 33 if we can get Jared onto it just to clarify for us.
Boundary.
Yep,
That's
Jared.
Harry Eckert.
Yeah, I thought so. So just wanted that clarification. He's 32, but he's now 33 on our team sheet, so we'll be calling Eckert more.
Good chance I just may have mistyped it in when we did it on Friday.
Oh,
lack of sleep, a lot going on.
I didn't mean to sell you out there. Sorry about that. But all good now. High kick up goes, gets some territory. Colombo couldn't take the markers. He's wrestling in the marking contest, but a great tackle keeps it. A 50-50 contest for Heathmont, picking himself up with Burgess. So let's go boundary side for more comment.
No, I wouldn't feel so bad, Ryan. It's 32 on game day as well on the website.
I stand corrected. I was always right.
Yep.
So back now, a chance of the Jets. Ball comes out. Here's Jared Lake, pushes past his opponent. His handball's cut off. Is that Stevens, who loads up from the arc? Bouncing ball, minor score. 3-2-20, Heathmont, Boronia 2-4-16. 2 minutes into this grand final of the second quarter, the Bendigo scoreboard.
Stevens is looming large, is possibly the match winner for Heathmont in their forward 50. He's in everything at the moment.
So Bolton's got kicking out duties. He's got a searching look on him as he gets out to right pocket, then loads up a long kick to Hannon. Collins gets underneath it, allows his teammate to run on it. Phillips hand passes it over to Malice. Malice's kick was too sharp. Isaacs was good intercept. He needs Eckhart to help him. They're all a little bit lost, but getting onto it is Isaacs. Good recovery. His hand pass, though, doesn't get to a teammate to advantage, so it's still in the area for Boronia at centre forward. Great pressure by both sides there, and Isaacs did well with his second effort.
He did, but look, once again, Malice running in towards the forward 50. I would have kicked it over the head.
Yeah, so the short pass was too hot.
Yeah.
No mark could be taken with that. Yeah, potentially that was the coaching instructions. Burgess was up under the high ball, couldn't take the mark, but they've got some runners now, sharing it out to Flanagan. Flanagan goes back. Collins is there. He's looking for a teammate. The bouncing ball will be a turnover. Colombo gets a hand pass received, then goes out wide into the boundary side. It doesn't get to his player on the full, so scrapping for it was Van Leeuwen. Ground level ball taken by Hare. Hare can't get it running to Hannon, and Hannon's out of bounds at half forward.
That back six for Heathmont is really holding up very strongly so far in this match.
Heathmont leading early in this second term, 20-16. 3.5 minutes gone, second term. Boundary throw-in is closer to Maroondah Highway than the centre, and at a thin advantage Heathmont or Boronia, and it'll be another ball up, half forward for Boronia going to the Maroondah Highway end. The Rucks just, they totally ran at each other and forgot about the ball being balled up, and at ground level it's a kicking and danger free kick that'll be a relieving free kick for Heathmont, and it's in the hands of Young.
There he is, Ryan Young. Look to take this game on. It's a dangerous kick if it pays off, and there's Noops in front. He's looking for Isaacs. Cut off by Noops zone. He's got some players out. Here's Luke Hannon. Spins around. Kick on the way, inside 50, looking for Robertson in the pocket. Got him.
That's good.
So Ben Robertson, tough angle from here.
Yeah, not the forward pocket you want to be kicking a goal from, though.
And it certainly would be an impressive kick from here. But he has kicked 46 goals for the season. multiple times has kicked 4 or 5 in a game.
Well, he can't actually go the Boonana, right?
Oh, kick on the way. Oh. Robertson has nailed it.
Oh, you're joking.
3-4-22 the Hawks to the Jets 3-2-20.
Bit of advice, Wayne Brasher. Don't call it, mate. Don't call it.
Well, if someone was going to kick it, it was going to be him as we go boundary side.
I just wanted to know from Brash, was that more of the angle of the dangle on that pocket?
No, that was a very straight drop punt.
I don't want to harp on it, but they went deeper into the forward.
Yeah, I think you do want to harp on it.
No, well, it annoys me that they don't do it.
Well, the coach told them to as well, so they do get the first goal of the second term, do Boronia. They hit the front, but Heathmont, good courage in trying to run off the back of the square, but Tink has been slowed up back of that pack. So it's another ball up centre of Mitchum's Walker Park. And again, Boronia can't break free, and that was Malice. Mitch Malice always involved. So is Brasher in abouts. Now the push and shove comes. It's a real contest here in the Division 2 Grand Final. 22 plays 20. Boronia leading Heathmont in the Division 2 Grand Final. Again, we'll ball it up. Go again, says the umpire, because there's a lot of players now in the middle of the oval surrounding the ball. Rucks go at it again. Ground level balls bounce back into the pack of players. So again, the wrap up taken by Hannon, and it's a push in the back by Hannon because he rolled over with the tackle, and Mullinger McHugh will get himself up with the ball. So maybe a bit lucky. It looked like a good tackle, but Hannon came over the top and conceded the free kick. So Mullinger McHugh loads up a long ball, hoping for a flyer. We haven't seen much of Finn Brown today. Ground level ball picked up by Burgess. Gets it over to Collins. Collins goes by foot into the middle. His kick was a bit sharp for Grice. And then the tackle, big one applied by Haynes. And
holding the ball.
It's holding the ball. It was a big tackle, and for effort alone, it deserved a free kick. But maybe the prior wasn't there.
For Jordan Haynes. Skipper off to a good start to this game for the Jets. Kick forward, punch from behind there by Duke. Back out of their back half. Bodies on the line here, Van Leeuwen. Caught by Hawk there in Nathan Hare. Boundary side, Scott Hardy.
Just wanted to keep an eye on Harry Isaacs using his run off back line. He got burnt in that one. He's gassed trying to get back to the back pocket, but one to keep in mind going forward.
So here's Fairchild, went backwards. Got to a teammate, back to Brasher. Now down the line. And here he goes. There's Mellis. Again, plenty of space. He'll receive this back off Grice and then inside 50 and hits up Begley. Great transition for the Hawks. And Begley will have a chance for his first goal of the afternoon.
Great run and carry there by Mitch Mellis.
Well, he's done it a few times this afternoon, done it all year. He gets going. It'll be very hard for the Jets as Josh Begley lines up to give the Hawks an 8-point lead, 8 minutes into this second quarter. Kick on the way, right over the umpire's head. The Hawks have 4-4, 28. Heathmont 3-2, 20. We've played 8 minutes into this second quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I'm going to give it to Malice that kick was deliberate in that he knew where the leader could get to.
That's right. Look, you can go shallow, but you've got to hit your target. But no, he was a great play by Malice.
I think if Malice had gone long, he would have overcommitted and overshot all his forwards.
So sometimes you just got to allow the forward to know that he can run into a ball rather than have to run to the kicker. And that's Malice smartly. He probably was out of gas when he finally kicked it, but what a run for Malice. Now, Hannon couldn't get his hand pass clear, so it's Heathmont getting the clearance out of the centre. Finn Brown's underneath it, but he's been well guarded by Lake. Ground level ball not claimed by either side, and it's a wrapped up tackle inside Heathmont's 45. What do you think of Finn Brown so far in the matchup?
He's actually had no influence on the contest at all. Lake's done a good job on him.
So it's a ball up 40 metres out from Heathmont's goal, and just with all the momentum late in that second term, they've conceded the first 2 goals of this quarter. Wouldn't mind them getting on the score sheet again from their perspective, but they're the ones who are probably going in a bit shallow now. Inside. They just can't get in any clear momentum inside 50.
And the one thing is too, I'm watching Mullinger McHugh, and he's trying to play kick behind the play without being involved.
So he's going to come over the top of Hannon, gets front position, ground level ball. Just kick off the ground's gone 40 for Boronia. great ball from half back to centre forward, and trying to get out with the ball was Jallo, and just as he walks away with the ball, the umpire says, I'll ball it up.
Who said the post kick was dead?
Well, sometimes it doesn't matter how, but just get it out of the area.
That was huge.
And just Heathmont want to get their hands on it, but Boronia showed if you just put your boot on it, it can work out just fine. Ground level ball by Brasher. He can't get away from the tacklers. Big bump in the tackle on Heathmont, so they won't get clear. And trying to burst way forward was Burgess, and he has to hand it over to the umpire. At a side, no clear possessions won in the last few contests, but it's been hard and fast in recent times, so it's a real great grand final. Again, wrap-up tackle, this time applied by Grice, and again it'll be another ball up on the outer side wing here at Walker Park.
In the ruck here, Marjorie Hugh up against Josh Hannon, got the tap out, went straight down. We'll get another ball up far side.
Boundary.
As we go boundary to Jared Benland.
Finn Brown's playing a little further up the ground than he was in the first quarter, but that won't worry Jared Lake one bit.
So tap down there by Hannon. It's a chance here for Marjorie Hugh to get the clearance though. They go inside 50. It's a one-on-one contest and doing very well there, Jess Bolton. The experience finds Ryan White. Centre half back for the Hawks. They lead by 8 points. White. Switch it to the broadcast wing. Looking for Jared Lake in the middle of it. Noobs out the back and Mitch Mellis is there. Noobs picks it up cleanly. His kick was smothered there by Lake Tink. Ball falls out to Mitch Mellis. Gets the handball away. And he's pushed in the back as he was.
Yep.
So Mitch Mellis on the 45-metre arc earns himself a free kick.
You can see what Boronia are trying to do. They're trying to enforce their will on this contest at the moment. They're trying to really...
Sorry, I thought he was about to kick it to Fairchild, who's by himself. Short kick, it's a bouncing ball. Doing well there, Hare, and finds Shallow. And another mark inside 50. Sorry, Brash.
I just thought that they're trying to impose their will on the contest here at the Boronia just by brute strength. That was very lucky that came off, really.
Just been in the right spot at the right time from the missed kick.
So they've got a chance here to put themselves 14 points up. Early stages of this second quarter. They've probably dominated this quarter. Really, Mitch Jello to come in. We're right behind this one, so we'll know off the boot if it's going to be there. It's a beautiful kick, and it's home. The Hawks have 5. 5-4-34. Heathmont 3-2-20. A 14-point lead, 12.5 minutes into this second quarter.
I think the signs are there. Boronia are just sort of starting to get their game together. It's been a quarter and a bit to do it, but Heathmont now just need to man up and get back to what they were doing in the first quarter, which was hitting the contest hard.
I'm just wondering whether that running brigade of Boronia is really starting to, come to the fore here. Malice has gone up a notch in this second quarter.
Yeah, Mitch Malice has been good, and Jake's also, Malice is in the middle here for the stoppage and gets his hands on it, gets a hand pass over. They can't get the run going. Kick off the ground by Bolton was clever, but Burgess, and it just a bit of a touch finder from half back, gets the half forward, and it's out of bounds.
But even there was two Boronia guys 5 metres in front of Heathmont there.
So let's get some stats from Paul.
The clearances in this quarter are 6-4 the way of Heathmont.
Heron couldn't break out of a tackle, and Heathmont are trying to keep it in tight and release when it's to their advantage. They just haven't had much outside run this quarter. It's going towards Heathmont's goal just with momentum from the tap. Malice coughs it up. It's chucked by Stevens. Long ball in. Mark, well, good courage by Hansen. He knew where the ball was and he knew the impact would come in late. And Hansen claims the mark from 30 metres out as the fallen Boronia Hawks pick themselves up. Being Burgess, he looks okay, but Hansen was the one.
I think he's very lucky, Hansen, to get a free to get that. That was a definite push there.
And the kick there from Stevens, though, again. It's been probably one of their best plays so far in the first half.
Was it within 5 to sort of do that sort of work?
No, I'm just saying, Gav, just the way I saw it there, There was a little bit of a push there, but the umpire saw differently.
Well, I think it also to his credit, he knew players were coming from behind, but from 30 out, he puts it straight through the middle. That's the steadier Heathmont needed in this contest. They go to 4-2-26. It's back to an 8-point game as Boronia 5-4-34, 14 and a half minutes gone, second term.
Very important goal, Ray, in the context of this game. The Hawks had kicked the last 3.
Yeah, it certainly was a most important goal. But as Bresh said, look, I thought it was a free kick myself too, Bresh. But that's, look, we're not complaining. That's the way it goes.
No, because the umpire had a clear view of it, so that's how he judged it.
So back in the middle again, bit of push and shove.
Yeah.
They Quirk and Mellis. Going to have to do something, Quirk, because Mellis has had a strong start to this game. You know he's going to get his 30 touches or more, but you just got to somewhat limit his influence. Back in the middle now. Free kick here. No, ball up.
Once again, Mellis on the bottom of that pack.
We're going to have to start naming Mitch and Jake because they're getting a lot of touches between them.
Every second possession, it's a Mellis. Back in the middle again, Evans pushes aside. Here's Noobs who picks it up. Wrapped up again. We've gone 15 and a half minutes in this second quarter. 5-4 to 4-2, Boronia leading. Thanks for joining us on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM. We're on our Facebook and YouTube streams. Punch forward there by Evans. Slapped it forward. There's Duke. Got a hand to it. Pushed it away towards us here on the broadcast side. Picked up here by Young. 2 Hawks wraps him up. Get another ball up.
Boundary.
So go boundary side, Scott Hardy.
Intensity's definitely lifted down here. You can feel it even in the crowd.
Absolutely, as this ball rolls out of bounds. We'll get a boundary throw in. 16 minutes gone in the second quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Evans will go up against Hannon. So Evans will want to keep control of the front position. Feels for Hannon, gets good position, runs into the corridor with the ball, gets it into forward line. Brown, nearly a mark. Was he pushed in the back? The umpire's paid it a little bit, but diving effort not paid. Evans there to stop the repelling kick, hands it off to a runner. It's a bit of a rushed effort. Trying to get going was Van Leeuwen. Now gets the side in 550. Spilled mark with the flight of it, but still an opportunity for the Jets. And kicking the goal is Quirk. He got onto the ball, leading his way to the goal square, and with the flight of it, he spilled it, but he stood up in the congestion and had a shot from top of the goal square and got it through.
Oh, how good was that? Kept his feet too. I thought he was about to slip over, but managed to stay alive. Second effort, finish it off.
So it's only a 2-point game now.
And Ryan Long's got a big smile on his face. He wanted a close grand final, and he looks like he got one, mate.
Oh, might get 2 in a row, so very happy with that.
Yeah.
A sneaking suspicion he might want the brown and gold to win.
No. Back in the middle, Hannon. Down to Mellis.
In a close
Another ball up. Just want a close one, Gav.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think just to break up the monotony, the Boronia need to thump it clear of the contest there.
Yeah, so a clearing kick there. I think that was Mellis.
Yeah.
Got a player out here. Chance to go forward, Flanagan. So one-on-one coming in from the side. I think that was Isaacs. Got a fist to it. Out the back. Shot on goal there from Hare.
Boundary.
Minor score. So 5-5-35 the Hawks. The Jets 5-2-32. Boundary side, Jared Beanland.
Oh, I was going to say Harry Isaacs was struggling to get up. He has gotten up, but he looks a little ginger at the moment, and that's not just his hair.
Brash, as you alluded to, when Boronia get that run on the outside, they look very dangerous.
So Heathmont just trying to keep control of the ball. The kick out will be to a pack of players. It suits Hannon, and coming in late for the fly was Flanagan. Ground level balls all Hawks. Mitch Mellis has got it, hands it over to his brother Jake. Jake's ball smothered. He's trying to find Mitch. Tunnel ball though nearly to Flanagan. Flanagan's trying to get himself into the contest. Knocked off the ball was Hannon. Quick kick out will suit Burgess, who was standing on the wing all alone just to chop off that kick. The quick kick out of the pack by Heathmont. He'll do a transition kick to Collins. Collins runs away from his opponent in Mullinger McHugh. Loads up a long ball from defence. They go forward. A nice mark. Well, drop ball by Begley. Had a bit of it, but he spilled it in the end. Hand pass inside 45. Keeps it going for Boronia. Isaac's there to try to mop up with some pressure. Hand pass towards the boundary. Finds a teammate, and the clearing kick gets it to the wing. Outer side. Mullinger McHugh. Good work in the practice to get it down to ground level where he might take it. Now the long ball to Malone. Rides the bump. Takes the mark. Now is quick to get to his feet and play on. Colombo running with the flight into the pocket, takes a good run. He had to jump in the end and jump towards the boundary. He did, but he clasped it into his chest, and he'll have a shot.
That was a courageous mark. He had two defenders coming straight at him from front and side on, and he just watched the ball and did what he had to do.
But great kick, advantage, chance for the defenders.
Yeah. Kick to the player so he can run into that position.
Yeah, you got to get the defence out of it, and Malone was smart enough to know if I get to my feet quickly, I can go long and over the top, and Colombo has his lead honoured from the pocket. It's going to take a good kick, but it'll put Heathmont in front. If he can put it through the middle, it looks deliberate but misses to near side. Minor score 33-35. Boronia lead. As we tick over time on second term in this grand final, let's get some stats from Paul.
The inside 50s this quarter 11-8 in favour of Heathmont, and the marks inside 50 this quarter 3-2 in favour of Boronia.
Bolton found max pressure. Finds Burgess at half back. The skipper. Send it down the line on that far side. Isaacs is there first to take the inset mark. Or was it? Yes, he did take the mark. Wasn't out of bounds. Harry Isaacs.
Boronia getting burnt on the turnover, and they're not hitting their targets at the moment.
Took the mark right in front of CEO Jai Bond, inside 50. Out the back there, Malone got the boot to ball. And we're going to get the stoppage here. 45 metres out from home for the Jets. They trail by 2 points into time on second quarter. Division 2 grand final. Back in the ruck now. Hannon got it down. The kick there looked to be smothered. Out the back, they find some numbers. Hanson passes it forward. Colombo tried to push past Phillips. And Millis must have been out of bounds there. So we'll get a boundary throw in as we go to Paul Yukoni Stats Centre.
Clearances this quarter 10-6 the way of Heathmont.
So boundary throw in. The attacking half for the Jets. Wouldn't they love it to be in front at half time? Colombo picked up and tackled by Phillips. Another ball up. Paul?
Tackles this quarter 13 apiece.
In a hot contest so far. Coming up to the 22nd minute mark of this quarter. Hannon fisted it down. That was picked up there from
Stevens, I think.
Stevens. That kick was out of bounds on the full. And no score, so 5-3 plays 5-5. Boronia leading.
What's excited me about this game is the momentum switches.
Yeah, both sides are they're getting a run, and they're both taking full toll of it when it's their moment in the sun.
Well, that's often the way scores come from turnovers, and that's good in tight. But if a team can get out in the open, there is some opportunities to be made. So the kick is nice little hit up target for Boronia to keep control in the pocket. As scoreboard's in their favour, 35-33. Long kick out by Brasher, goes all the way to the wing. Ground level ball. It's in the hands of Boronia. Hannon, the big ruckman. He's not the one you want to have the release hand pass to, and he clumsily knocks over his opponent in Quirk, and Quirk got in the way and takes the free kick, kicks it long, hoping for Malone, but the defence comes in. Flanagan's under a heap of pressure, knocks it out, and the Heathmont appeal for deliberate because he had no other alternative and he had no other action in his mind but knocking it out of bounds. But at local level, we're a bit more tolerant of that sort of behaviour.
We're a lot more tolerant.
So it's a boundary throw in 45 metres around from Heathmont's goal. They've had a good 5 minutes. Now it's been taken out of the ruck. Flying shot by Boronia misses and will just drop short, and it's a conceded point, so it's a close game. It's only 1 point the margin. 23 minutes second term. Boronia lead 5-5-35 and Heathmont are 5-4.
And late in this second quarter, Heathmont are peppering the goals.
So Harry Burgess to take this out of defence. Won't be too much left longer in this quarter. Finds Max Brasher again, who's had quite a bit of the ball in the last 5 minutes. Plays on. We'll go back to Burgess. He's got two Jets there. One of them smothers the footy. Max Brasher picks it up. He's tackled. Gets rid of it to Hare. Hare's chase. Goes into a dangerous position here, and Campbell Evans standing under it takes the mark. Will send Heathmont deep into attack. Can they get a mark? Out the back there. Punched by Brasher. And seen over the line. Tapped over We'll get a boundary throw in.
They're under the pump here at the moment, Boronia.
Yep.
Heathmont are really taking it up to them, and their back six are really feeling it at the moment here, Boronia.
Certainly under pressure at the moment. Won't be too much left longer in this first half. Evans front position. Out here's a chance. Shot on goal from Young.
Behind.
No good, a minor score, and we are all tied 5-5, 35 apiece, coming up to the 25th minute mark of this second term, Division 2 Grand Final.
Evans has been good. 2 clearances from his own ruck contest with the kicks.
Yeah.
Last 2.
Yeah, second efforts, that's right.
He's strong, and once he gets his hand on it, I think he knows that the other ruckers are going to evaporate off him a little bit, so he can kick it. So it's in the hands of Bolton. Long kick out, hoping for the high flyers. Only one flyer, and it turns out Lake claiming the mark at half-back for Boronia. They've been under a bit of pressure. Close game now, couldn't get any closer. 35 apiece. Long ball from half-back to half-forward. No mark taken. In position, there was Begley. He drops it under the tackle, and that's called holding the ball as he tried to get through the pack.
Free kicks are 5-1 this quarter the way of Heathmont.
And we haven't seen much of Brown all day, and he's on half back kicking not at goal, he's just mopping up in defence. So it's Urquhart trying to look for the next pass, but the long clearing kick, well, it'll find the way to Tink. It wasn't the best looking of kicks, but it's effective. Long high ball inside 45, defence sets up, but it's gone through to the back of the pack. No clear possession. Boronia runs onto it, gets the hand pass out. Now the flying shot by Isaacs won't make the journey, and it's been conceded for a point. And it's Heathmont back in front, 5-6-36, leading Boronia 5-5-35, 26 minutes, and they're peppering the sticks, other Jets.
Yeah, I thought Isaacs was very lucky to get out of that. I thought he was completely gone.
So they take the lead by a point here, 26 minutes gone, second quarter. Burgess clearing out of defence. Hawks just holding on at the moment. And there's Jared Lake again, couldn't quite bring it down. Marlington McHugh will get a ball up. 50 out from home for Heathmont. They've been pushing for the last 5 minutes. Hannon got the tap down. Marlington McHugh picked it up. There's Luke Hannon. Brought down in a tackle and we'll get another ball up.
One thing they're not winning at the moment, Boronia, is the stoppages and clearances. They're getting beaten around the ball at the moment.
Been a great response from the Jets after 3 goals in a row from the Hawks. Get back that lead.
Boundary.
So go boundary side, Scott Hardy.
Also noted from Heathmont, they keep trapping Boronia in, slowing them down. Boronia were always out of their backline really quick, but now can't find a way. Here we go.
Miller's got through, and now to Luke Hannon. Got the pass from Fletcher Duke inside 50. There's a free kick awarded. It's going in the direction of Boronia. Noops to take this. It's about 45 out from home. Goes to the other pocket, and it's punched away here. Well done there by Ryan Burley. Keeps it in front of him. Oh, he's cleaned up by a teammate there in Finn Brown. Mitch Jello picks it up now inside 50, and all by himself standing there is Nick Noops, who is well in range to go back and take the shot.
That was the only way Boronia were going to get a forward 50 on a turnover.
And this would really hurt Heathmont on the siren. They were pushing for the last 5 minutes, and now Boronia have a chance to hit the lead just before half-time.
This is a big kick.
Certainly will, to carry some momentum into the second half. Nick Noops from 45 out, directly in front.
No, it's not there.
Not going to make it. It's going to fall short. So no score, and the Jets will go into half-time in front, 5-6-36 to the Hawks, 5-5-35. We've got a grand final on our hands. The goal kickers so far, all single goal kickers here for the Jets. Stevens, Haynes, Quirk, Hanson and Malone. As for the Hawks, Edwards, Begley, Fairchild, Jello and Robertson, all with one each. A fantastic game ahead of us. We're going to go to our half-time break here. It's Heathmont 5-6-36, leading the Hawks 5-5-35.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to say. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Do you want to study at the #1 sports science school worldwide? Study sport at Deakin and benefit from the most advanced sports facilities available, from running tracks to biomechanics labs, and decked out gyms to a climate chamber. Deakin have what you need to graduate ahead of the pack. Discover endless opportunities in sports science by visiting deakin.edu.au/sport. Deakin, proud sponsors of the EFNL.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Eastland EFNL Match of the Day. It is grand final time here at Walker Reserve. It's Boronia versus Heathmont in Division 2, 5-5 35 to 5-6 36. And this is the halftime show. My name's Jared Beanland. Joining me for this show, we've got Blake Tennant, Dylan Smith, and Matt Spider-Lee. Gentlemen, I'll start with you, Blake. How have you seen this game so far? And is it surprising to you that Heathmont are actually up at half-time?
Not really, because, you know, their last 4 weeks, Heathmont have been exceptional. Like, you know, they've done it the hard way. Yes, we know that. Their stories are very special and all that, but I'm not shocked. I think they're full of momentum. You know, they've beaten Templestowe, who, of course, beat Waverley Blues to play Boronia in the semi-final. They beat Mulgrave as well, who were, you know, below them in the elimination final, and then they beat Templestowe, as I said before. I'm not shocked. I'm really happy that, you know, Heathmont, they're not here to, you know, make the numbers sort of thing like that. They're actually here to play a decent brand of footy, and I think it's working.
Dylan, what has been the story for you of this game? How have the Jets curtailed Boronia's dominance?
Yeah, I think what Blake said is he sort of hit the nail on the head there with their last 4 weeks. They've sort of been a different team during that time, and that's been amazing. But what I am shocked at in this game is how well they've done at clearance. To lead Boronia 24-20 at half-time, that's an unbelievable effort, because we know what Boronia like at clearance with Malice and those sort of guys in there. It's just unbelievable. So I guess I'm shocked at that. As far as what they've done to curtail Boronia's influence, just the pressure. You can feel it at ground level. We're down there, you know, right on the boundary line, and just the way they've been able to press right up on Boronia, and they push them back. There was a moment there at the end of that half where they just pegged them in, and they got repeat inside 50s. And I think something we mentioned on the podcast on Friday was about the unpredictability about Heathmont's forward line, and I think that's really coming into the fore. The chaos balls really worked, and all those smalls like Bailey Stevens, they rotate the mids and the half forwards really well, and that's working at the clearance, and it's also working in the forward line.
Spider, what's the path back here for Boronia to retake or just take dominance of the game?
Yeah, look, I think they've just got to reset when they have this meeting with Matt Clark at half time. You just got to go back to
first of all, your main approach, you've got to get back to the basics, but also what's your DNA? And we know what their DNA is for Boronia. It's their, the way that they use the ball, particularly in the middle part of the ground. Because at one point of the game, they were dominating the clearances. At one point, Paul read out at the start, it was 6-2, and they were just taking the ball out at leisure and then going forward. And we saw it when they kicked those 3 unanswered goals. But then in the end, they deviated off that because of Heathmont's exceptional pressure, at both ends of the ground. Their forward pressure, but then the defensive part. I would like to see Boronia get more on the outside and get that outside run going, because I think when they get it on the outside, they look a little bit cleaner, and then they can cause a little bit more space, put a little bit more uncertainty into the Jets, clutter them up a little bit more, because the Jets want to go through the corridor. They want to try and use that corridor and get the ball moving, and then cause that little bit of extra pressure for Boronia and that little bit of, a bit of more uncertainty. So I think for Boronia, the key part to this is to get your centre square approach right, and then when they get that ball out, is to get the ball in as fast as they can. But when they do move and transition, they're as good as anyone going around, and we just saw it with Robertson earlier. I mean, if he takes a mark, he'll kick a goal. He's a strong man, and he's a very good, accurate, reliable kick for goal, and he's got good players around him too that are contributing. And if Begley can get his hands on the ball a little bit more regularly, and if he can do something special, and keep his team, on task, then there's no reason why they can't go on to win this game. Now's the time they've got to push the button and motor away. They're good enough to do it. They've just got to now take their game of intensity to another level and see if the Jets can go with them. And we'll have to wait and see whether they're capable of doing it.
Now, I know I'm going to ask a question for all of you, because obviously I'm flying around the grounds and all that, but who's one player from Boronia or Heathmont that can blow this final apart? Who's one player that we're backing in? I'll start with you. I'll go you first, Joe.
I've got one for each. It's Bailey Stevens for Heathmont easily, and it's Josh Begley for Boronia.
I was about to say Josh Begley, and the one thing that we haven't seen that much of from Boronia in this first half is marks inside 50. They've threatened, they've looked likely, but they just sort of haven't quite landed. That's partly been down to Heathmont's pressure as well, but if they get some marks inside 50, particularly with Begley, this game could be over at three-quarter time.
Still had the faith in Mallis for me, really. I mean, at the start of the game, I was tipping him to get the best on the ground, Mitch Mallis. And I think for the point of view, if he can just get his hands on the ball and just get this centre square approach right, they've got a good midfield. They can get it cranking in this third term. There's no reason why they can't go on to win the game.
If the pressure drops off from Heathmont, you could see Mallis really running right in that centre of the ground.
Well, he started to early part of the game, and you thought he was going to just accumulate disposals, but there was a little bit of a drop-off there for about a good 10-15 minute period.
And that's the question, is how sustainable is Heathmont's game? Like, can they take this out in 4 quarters?
That's the big question. I'm not sure whether, this is the big premiership quarter, as we always say, the third quarter. And, look, this is probably the one where it's going to be decided. If they're still in the game with a similar margin to this, they're well and truly in it. But I think if Boronia can kick 4 or 5 this quarter, it's going to put massive pressure on the Jets going into the last term.
Yeah, spot on. I think if they can sustain that pressure for one more quarter, they can just run on fumes in the last one.
Yeah, and on complete adrenaline, and perhaps even the crowd, given that it is a grand final. It's a great crowd here today.
And just a quick one before we head off, of course, but I'm still going to go, my gut goes Heathmont, but you can't, it's kind of like yesterday, we all said about South Belgrade, but Heathmont are doing exactly what Mitcham did yesterday, but it's all about Heathmont if they want to stay with Boronia, because I feel like last time they played, Boronia just basically steamrolled them into that third quarter. They blew them out of the game. So I'm still going to go Boronia, but I wouldn't be surprised if Heathmont are still with them come three-quarter time.
Yeah, I have to agree
as
with
long as Heathmont believe, there's no question that they're in the contest, but I still would like to be in the Boronia camp at the moment. I still think that they've got another level to step.
So we will head to a break shortly. This has been the halftime show. We'll just quickly run through the goal kickers. Is that Blake?
Yeah. So obviously the score is now 5-5-35 to Heathmont, 5-6-36. Goal kickers to Edwards, Begley, Fairchild and Gilo, as well as Robertson. And for Heathmont, Malone, Hanson, Quirk, Haynes and Stevens.
Yeah, no multiple goal scorers in the entire game so far, so we'll see if that changes on the other side of this break. We'll be back with you for the Eastland match of the day. It's grand final time at Walker Reserve in Division 2, Heathmont versus Boronia.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her two young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy to use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Division 2 grand final from Walker Park. Half-time here, and it is the Jets leading by a single point, 5-6-36 to the Hawks 5-5-35. They've been the underdogs coming into this game. We've all tipped 20 points or more, and it's been a great performance so far from Heathmont. They looked maybe a little bit in trouble, Ray, when Boronia got a bit of a run on, but then they hit back quickly and they go in half-time with a 1-point lead.
Yeah, I think we all agreed at the start of the game that, Heathmont had to start the game off well, and they did that, and they controlled most of the first quarter, but at the start of the second quarter, Boronia kicked 3 goals and it looked like it was going to be a bit of a breakout, but to Heathmont's credit, they got back into the game and found themselves, with only a point to difference.
Absolutely. Brash, your thoughts on that first half, and where do you think the game is going to be won here in the third quarter?
Well, I think fundamentally for mine, I think Maddie's going to make a change in the midfield. I think it's time to put Luke Hannon in the midfield because he needs someone to start jumping. I think the Josh Hannon's getting manhandled or not getting the ball on his terms against Evans. I think they need someone that can start jumping and over-jumping Evans to try and get some forward 50 momentum and get the ball fed to their outside. I think if Boronia get their outside run going, I think there's still a definite chance, but I've got to say Heathmont have been very brave so far, and they've done everything right.
They have taken the game on. Bailey Stevens liked his first half. We're back for the second half of the Division 2 grand final. Gab Casey.
Interesting to see Fairchild into the middle, but Young is a direct opponent, gets the centre clearance for Heathmont as they go towards Maroondah Highway end. Getting knocked off the ball was Mullinger McHugh. How did he get rid of it when he had it? He just sort of knocked it away from himself and let the tackle come in, and it's holding the man. Free kick going the way of the Jets forward, not Ruckman. So Evans is really...
he's worrying Luke Hannon in that midfield.
And it's making the move so easy for Scott Hamill just to put Mullinger McHugh up forward and leave it like that. So Mullinger McHugh is kicked one behind so far. If he can kick straight from 45, he'll extend the lead anyway by a minor score to the left. And it's 5-7-37. Heathmont leading now by 2 points. Boronia 5-5-35.
Okay, Burgess to take the kick in. Maroondah Highway end of the ground. Not Whitehorse Road as Burgess clears it for the Hawks. Long King out. Punched there by Lake. Wrapped up in a tackle. And we'll get a ball up. Ben Grice in there. Campbell Evans, as we said. Been important early, had a big performance last week against Templestowe. Up against Hannon, this time Hannon wins out. Hanson wrapped up. Get a ball up again. Just a minute and a half into this third quarter. Nothing in it at the moment. Hanson got the tap out, looking for, or the pass, looking for Hanson. Colombo. And Quirk kicked forward, bouncing ball out the back. Doing well there, Jared Lake. Gets that ball out of bounds, and we'll get a boundary throw in.
Early in this third quarter, Boronia back six are under a lot of pressure.
Again?
Yes.
Been under the pump all afternoon so far. Mullinger McHugh this time against Hannon. Hannon one out, got the tap. But here's Stevens, picks it up, throws it on the boot inside, bounced off the chest of a teammate there. Malone picked up, shot on goal, hits the post. I didn't see who grabbed that one, but
Young, I think.
An almost opportunity there for the Jets, so they move to 5-8-38. Boronia 5-5-35 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Paul Uconi Stat Centre.
Already 3 to zip in clearances the way of Heathmont, and 2 inside 50s already. They want to take their opportunities early, Heathmont.
Bolton's kick out nearly found Grice, but it evaded him just as he was running onto it. So Heathmont at the top of the centre forward. Colombo with the hand pass turnover. Hits White on the run. He gets out with a hand pass under a bit of distress. Now Boronia, there was a throw conceded, and you can hear the cheers of the Jets just as White's hand pass seemed to be looping over to a free running player. Burley was in there to make a score-saving tackle, and he'll have the kick on half-back. He might be chopped off by Grice. He drops the mark under a bit of pressure, goes in again, does Grice on the outer wing. He'll be wrapped up in a tackle, and Quirk applied enough pressure to be a ball up. So these short passes, they're not really working out from either side. They're not hitting their targets, but if they can just get some release run, it's their best way forward. A lot of pressure. Young again applies the tackle. And again, not going too far is Edwards. He just couldn't evade the tackle earlier, so it's again good body work by Evans, and the strength of the man to hold it above his head. Tackles applied, still will not give it up. It's like it's a nugget of gold. He's not giving it up. Evans goes again, but tap, no clear possession one. Coming off the back of the pack was Haynes. He couldn't get it going for Heathmont. Forward goes Boronia. Isaac's there to mop up, but he's taken by Fairchild. He's taken down in the tackle. Begley picks it up, spins around on his own turn, and he loads up a kick for a goal. So Begley got the composure and poise, picks up the scraps, and then he just dances around on his own step, then lines himself up and kicks a goal. Back in front of Boronia.
Fairchild's goal there, the run-down tackle on Isaac set that up.
Yeah, it was brutal, wasn't he, the way he ran him down.
And sometimes it just needs a moment of inspiration to really spark a side. Could that be the spark for Boronia? Because that was a brilliant piece of play by Fairchild.
So 2 goals to Josh Begley. And the Hawks are back in front, 6-5-41. The Jets 5-8-38. Coming at the 5th minute mark of this third quarter. Tap down to Brasher. Here's White. White the handball to Fairchild. Back to White. And he links up again. This time from Flanagan. So White now inside 50.
A good mark in defence there. I believe that's Harry Urquhart. Back in defence. We'll use the ball down the far side once more, which has spent most of the afternoon in, and punch from behind their leg has given Finn Brown nothing this afternoon.
And the one thing is, though, I don't think Heathmont mind the way they're playing at the moment, because they're still in this contest and they're still getting the game on their terms.
Yeah, absolutely. So, boundary throw in. Hannon and Evans go battle. There's Burley. Evans again. Handball forward. Hanson to Quirk. Quirk inside 50. Got a runner to take the mark, and Liam Malone leading from the front. And can Malone make a quick reply here for the Jets, boys?
He's given them an option up forward, hasn't he? The way he's led to the ball, and gee, that was a really strong mark, running full pace.
As we said, probably Finn Brown hasn't had much impact, but Malone has had a massive first half. And a chance here to put through his second goal of the game and regain the lead for Heathmont. He'll be coming in, slight angle. From about 35 out, kick on the way. It's a beautiful finish. Jets back in front, 6-8-44. Hawks 6-5-41. 6.5 minutes gone in this third quarter on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
This is the grand final we want.
Yeah.
Goal for goal.
That's
goal
right.
for goal.
It's a real classic already.
You can't pick a winner from this stage.
No, not at the moment.
You cannot pick a winner.
Either side can go two goals in front, but the other side's got plenty to give.
I think conceding that both coaches will concede the point that both game plans seem to be working pretty well. If Boronia can hit up a target in the forward line, but Heathmont are closing down in stoppages really well and creating secondary stoppages and allowing themselves to get going when they know it's on their terms. Evans has been a pivotal player today. Malice had ground level tackled. Umpire couldn't see through the congested that he probably didn't have it when tackled. Evans just roughly tackles his opponent. He was nowhere near it. So it's a Boronia free kick, and Tink will have to hand it over to Begley. So Begley from the centre of Walker Park kicks it long. Robinson underneath it. The defender's in good position to push him further underneath it, and he'll go trickling out of bounds and in the pocket.
Just where Boronia wanted, deep inside that forward 50.
So Robinson is playing from the goal square. Begley getting himself more involved, hitting up and getting into contests. Stoppages in the middle of the ground. Heathmont under a heap of pressure. Now the tackling and pressures have been applied by Noop for Boronia to keep it in the area. Noop will do the rucking against Isaacs, I think. And Isaacs goes, Noop, the bigger player. Begley runs through the pack, but he falls over his own legs as he tries to get going forward, so he can't kick it. Then the clearing kick didn't go too much. Robinson, goal square, good position, takes the mark. The high kick. Robinson had the only person who knew where the drop of the ball was, and once he had a metre, he was always going to mark it in front of himself.
I was just watching Robinson before he actually moved. He just held the defender out until he was ready to go, and then he went.
And you can see on the replay, he had the metre. The defender was trailing and couldn't get the arm over his shoulders. Robinson takes a nice, good hands out in front mark. And looking at the sheet, he's got one goal in the second term. If he can kick his second, Boronia will be back in front.
again.
So lead changes will be plenty. But at the 9-minute mark, it's now Boronia leading the grand final in Division 2. Boronia not kicked their 7 for the day. 7-5-47. Robinson second. Heathmont 6-8-44.
This could be a grand final for the ages here. The way this is shaping up, neither side are giving an inch at the moment.
Yeah, goal for goal, 100% boys, and we probably look a little foolish with our tips at the start by backing Boronia by so much, but I thought if that was the case, it was going to be very early on that Boronia got off, and once Heathmont started well, you knew they were going to hang around all day, and they're a big chance. They trail by 3 points. 9.5 minutes gone in this third quarter. Dean O'Neill to ball it up in the middle. Tap down. Here's Haynes. Tackled by Fairchild. Did he get rid of it? Umpire says play on. There's Fairchild again. Handball forward. Finds Gero. Off to Hannon. Pressure by the Jets.
Oh, come on. There's going to be some prior opportunity there.
So Evans wins the free kick here.
I think he gave away team prior.
And half back. A couple of big efforts there from Fairchild. But the pressure from the Jets has been good. Down the line.
Begley in the middle of it, wins out, and that kick up in the air. A chance. Cello almost punch from behind. And we get a boundary throw in here right in front of us.
I tell you what,
side.
at halftime I don't think either coach was just whispering to his players. I reckon both sides got a rev up because the way they both come out in this third quarter.
Yeah. Come out firing. Boundary throwing. Evans and Hannon. Been a fantastic battle in the midfield. Between the two ruckmen. Here's Luke Hannon. He's caught on the second tackle by Evans, and that's holding the ball. He's been huge, Evans. He'll look to play on right away. Has Hancock there. Hancock down the line. Can they get the next one? And standing underneath it, Kieran Edwards for the Hawks.
That's a gutsy mark by Edwards. He had to take that mark.
He knew they were coming behind him too.
So, well done by the youngster. We'll go into attack here. Begley out the back. Almost stole it from Luke Hannon. Scrapping ball here at ground level. We're going to get a stoppage. 11 minutes gone. It's Boronia 7-5-47. Heathmont 6-8-44 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
How long can Evans go in this role? He's been a brute strength player as he goes again against Hannon. Wins the tap out, standing strong in the ruck contest. Edwards, though, there to pick himself up with the ball. Gets the kick inside 45. Isaac goes to spoil, tries to grab it off Noobs. Hands comes out quickly to Hannon. Luke Hannon snaps it from 40, and it's going to bounce through. And they got it out of the open. Hannon had time, hooks it around, and Boronia get a goal just from pure force, and Boronia now get onto a 9-point lead, 8-5-53 to Heathmont 6-8-44.
Just a bit of composure with the ball, the guy with the ball, hand pass to the centre half forward position where your mate's clear. Great football there by Boronia.
So they take a 9-point lead. Back in the middle again. Marlin now taking the ruck duties. He'll be up against Noops. Noops gets the hit out. There's Brasher. Begley in the midfield now. Grabbing it was Heathmont. Collins. Off to Begley. Begley spins around. Looking for Hare up forward. That's 65 out from goal. He'll send it into attack. Robertson one-on-one. Out the back. Came off the top of a Heathmont player. Isaacs picked it up. Got it off to Douglas. Tries to clear it out to 2-on-1 in favour of the Jets, and it rolls out of bounds.
Well done by Boronia player. That's 21.
Hare.
A 2-on-1 by Hare.
Well, that's a great result for Boronia as it goes out of bounds, and it's a chance still. And they're attacking half of the ground.
It's a hairline fracture.
Ball back into play. Mullinger got the tap down. Wins it himself, but he's tackled there by Noops. Just got the handball away. Scrap at the bottom of the pack there with Dean Grice and Harry Urquhart. So get a ball up inside. 50 for the Hawks. 9-point lead, third quarter of the grand final. Mullinger out of the middle. Got the handball, Colombo. He's tackled, and we'll get another stoppage here. Two sides have met quite a lot over the years. Head-to-head, 27-24 in favour of the Hawks.
Wow, nice stat.
Thanks, Kev.
You won't name your sources?
Just know myself.
Yeah, of course you do. So it's at half forward for Boronia. A bit of momentum here. Edwards has been good in the last few minutes, but Colombo on the back of half back. Hand pass in front of himself, hoping a tackler might take him without the ball, but he hand passes it out of bounds in the end.
Well, the game's it's delicately poised here at the moment.
It's, Boronia have been good on spurts, haven't they? And we've got some stats that might clear it up a bit more from Paul.
11 tackles to 10 in favour of Boronia, so both sides are bringing the intensity.
And one of those intense tackles was by Grice, and he gets a free kick for holding the ball out of wing. So load up another inside 50. We'll get that stat soon. Isaac puts himself in front position. The pack comes late, knocks the ball down, and Boronia hold it in 40 metres away from their goal. So we might get inside 45s, 50s. We'll still call it 50 even though it's 45 here at Walker Park. Hannon again, picks it out of the ruck contest, hands it over to the runner. Malice around the corner. Jake misses to the right. And if they can get out to an open spaces, they're very dangerous, Boronia, and they're starting to do that now. The scoreboard reads Boronia 8-6-54, leading by 10 over Heathmont 6-8-44.
You're right, certainly happened a few times now. Come up to the 15-minute mark of the third quarter. Hancock out from full back. Here's Dean Grice, the experienced veteran. Got the handball off to Noops running past. Couldn't get the ball to his boot, and that was well tackled there by Harry Isaacs. Isaacs looking for Mullinger-Hugh out the back. Did well to contest that against Grice. And a free kick here he's been awarded to, and that was Mullinger-Hugh's free.
Yellow card.
And yellow card.
Must be
Now-
verbal, was it?
Yeah, mouthed off for something.
Was that Begley?
No, coming in the middle.
Was that Jake Millis? So we get the boundary boys to keep an eye on that one as Mullinger-Hugh in their back half takes this. That is Jake Millis coming off with the yellow card. 15 and a half minutes gone.
So he's out for 15 minutes of play?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
that is correct. We'll see him in the fourth quarter. Mullinger-Hugh. Short chip finds Colombo. Colombo. He's got Urquhart all by himself. They've done this nicely so far. They'll want the next one. Boronia have kicked the last two. Urquhart towards their forward line, towards the boundary side. Big fly at the back. Here's Colombo at ground level. Snap towards goal. This will be something. It's the post.
That would have been goal of the day.
6-9-45. Boronia 8-6-54. 16 and a half minutes gone. Would have been your Tobin Brothers goal of the day contender.
Left boundary, right footer, running full pelt, right foot banana, curled from left to right, hit the post. What a goal it would have been, but it wasn't. So it's 9 points the margin. Heathmont's trail now, and manning the mark is Stevens as Boronia take a bit of control, a bit of tempo. Kick sort of smothered its way towards half back, but it's still in the hands of Brasher. Loads up a long ball for Boronia. Drop ball by Hancock, but he's good enough to get back on the ball. Good defender, a reliable defender, and he knows where the line is to get it out of play. I like Hancock's job because he's good at the spoil.
Yeah, he's done a good job on Begley.
Begley, yes.
Begley's been important with his 2 goals, but inside defensive 50, Hancock has done not too bad. Rucks go at it wing of Mitcham's Walker Park. Colombo can't get out of a tackle and he'll have to hand it over to the umpire. Centre wing is the ball up. Rucks go at it. Mullinger-McHugh does the rucking for Heathmont. Allows Luke Hannon to get onto it. Joshua Hannon now goes forward from the momentum from the clearance. But Heathmont got numbers back. Colombo's on the end of a hand pass. He gets knocked over. Now the numbers are with the Hawks in the hand of Jallo. Jallo spears a pass into Hannon. Luke Hannon gets it. Wants to play on quickly. Long ball in, doesn't suit Robinson. And putting in front. Nice mark by Brown, the defender, Reuben Brown.
Yeah, the pressure there once again.
So Brown, short chip.
Heathmont just hanging in there at the moment.
They look to clear it out. He's done pretty well. Nice mark out there. Matty Heron. Short kip. Finds Finn Brown. Finn Brown got a runner out wide. Hits him up. Rayone. Want to get the pass over the top to the runner by him. O'Connor. O'Connor now inside 50. And that's an incept mark there from Andrew Phillips. Did very nicely. He's got Josh Hannon by himself. They're going to come towards broadcast side. Fletcher Duke just over the top of his hands. Mullinger-McHugh was there to pick it up. Got off to Burley. It's cut off and now Burgess. A chance for the Hawks on the rebound. Duke. Phillips. Phillips inside 50. Looking for Robertson. One-on-one. Front position. One hand out the back. Here's Begley. Right boot. Bouncing ball. Oh! Goal number 9 for the Hawks. And they get that lead. 9-6-60. Heathmont 6-9-45, 19 minutes gone in the third quarter, and Begley has 3.
That was a really important 50-50 there for Boronia. They had all the numbers and were able to create the overlap.
That centre with Paul.
The inside 50s this quarter are 10-6 the way of Boronia.
And to the boundary, Scott Hardy.
That was Andrew Phillips' goal, running from all the way from the back line just to push it all the way forward. His pressure was immense.
But Brash, when you're a defender, you don't kill into the middle of the corridor. Dangerous to spoil into the corridor, I reckon. But it's a clearing kick. Now gets it into the hands of Hare. Hare gets the clearance going forward for Boronia, and on the end of it is the legend, Dean Grice.
And that forward 50 punch again by Fairchild was once again that set up the loose play.
And Brash, all of a sudden Boronia are hitting their targets.
Well, if you've got moments to steady yourself, you will hit targets. And they're getting it out to an open runner, just like that time, getting it to Hare. who finds Grice at 45. Can the old legs get the journey from 45? Long kick to the teeth of the goals. The defenders will come in late, still in the area. We'll hand it over. It's all up for Boronia, and it's Lake who picks the goal. Lake at the top of the goal square, got it from Collins. Why are they down there kicking the goal? Collins to Lake, and they kick a goal, Boronia, and they're 10th, and they're kicking away at the moment. 21-point lead to Boronia.
And that's what happens. Heathmont went to sleep. They've let two half-back players come down into the forward 50 unmanned.
That's why I was refusing to call the names. I was like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Just had to kill that ball. Just had to get it over the line somehow.
Well, this would be the biggest margin of the game now. It's going to... Heathmont's got to lift. They've got to score a couple of goals in this quarter.
That's right. Match high 21-point lead for the Hawks. Got to get the next one. Very important 5 minutes. Still manageable. It's only 21 points, but it is all Hawks with the momentum.
And a new football coming out. The other one's been kicked into the houses.
Back in the middle, 21 minutes gone, third quarter. Boronia 10-6, Heathmont 6-9. Thanks for joining us, Radio Eastern 98.1 M, Facebook and YouTube. Hannon in the ruck, got the tap out. Here's Fairchild if he can run onto it. Instead there it's Ryan Young. Got off to Burley. It was smothered. Now Fairchild taps it forward. Can run onto this. Keeps it in front of him. Still trying to pick it up. Still going Fairchild. Intercepted and a good tackle. Follow up. Mellis over the top. Grice in the pocket. Chance of Hare. He'll take the run. Right boot. Minor score. 10-7, 67, 6-9, 45. They're looking very dangerous.
Yeah, there was nothing stopping him running.
Mark.
Nothing stopping Fairchild running into that forward 50 then.
He's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, if you want a brand for Boronia football, this last 10 minutes has all been Hawks. It's what their trademark is. Get some run and gun. But it's now it's in the hands of Young. He runs into traffic when he tried to get through the middle of the ground, and Luke Hannon takes the tackle and free kick, or will he hand it over to Lake?
Lake was the one that tackled.
Yeah, so Lake gets the free kick, and he's imposing himself in the game. He's at the middle. He kicks it long and high. We don't want rain today, thank you, but it's a high ball, ground level ball. Evades all marking. Robinson at ground level, spoons a hand pass out to White. White hooks it around the corner. Who's he got? Hare on the bounce, couldn't get there. Defender gets there first in Isaacs, but he can't control the ball. So Heathmont under heap of pressure. They do clear through O'Connor. The click just gets them 20 metres out of their defensive area, but not to a player, and they will be wrapped up in a tackle as Douglas will have to hand the ball up to the umpire. They're under a heap of pressure on the Jets. As we go to some stats with Paul.
The clearances this quarter are 10-7 the way of Boronia.
And they're starting to win all the stats. The inside 50s is now in their favour, and they're getting the score on the board. The fans are getting up and about too.
Inside 50s are 13-6 the way of Boronia this quarter.
67 plays 45. It was 36-35 in Heathmont's advantage. So 5 goals to 1 this quarter for Boronia. They go inside 45 again. Isaacs under heap of pressure. Couldn't take the mark down with him. Tackle flies in from Noops, and he holds it into his area.
Well done by Noops.
He was beaten for the mark with his positioning, but he came in to apply the tackle after Isaacs couldn't control it in the marking. So it's a ball up 40 metres out, trailing by a point at half-time, and now leading by 22 are the Hawks. Getting tackled down was Mullinger McHugh. The umpires paid a lot of holding ball today, but not in this occasion.
But I have to say, in this third quarter, the intensity of Boronia's tackling has gone up a notch here.
Yeah.
Rucks go at it. Mullinger McHugh takes it with him, rows his own tap in effect, grasps it into his hands. But again, Boronia go forward, high up and under, won't be a mark. No clearing kick, under a heap of pressure. Finally gets its way out to Boronia. Gets it now, passing over to, dropping the ball on the lead was Hansen. He now has to fight his opponent off.
Bolton.
And Bolton does great work. He was trailing the leading option, and then he comes in and applies the tackle, claims the ball, gets tackled himself.
Bit of pressure, boys. It's probably a mistake Hansen would have made in the first half.
Rucks go at it again. Hannon can't get it to his advantage, and Heron can't get out of the congestion, and it'll be ball up. Centre wing, grandstand side of Walker Park here in Nuttawading, Mitcham's home ground.
Premiership quarter it is. It's been all the Hawks so far. It was caught high. Did the umpire see it? He did. Mitch Mellis here will earn himself the free kick on the Bendigo Bank low row.
15 inside 50s to 6 this quarter in favour of Boronia.
Thank you, Paul, as Mellis
will launch the Hawks into attack. Can they get another? They've already got 10. Out the back, who's there? Fairchild at ground level. He's caught by Tink. We'll get a stoppage inside 50. 25 minutes gone third quarter. 10-7, 67 Boronia. 6-9, 45 Heathmont. 22-point lead to the Hawks. Tap from Mullinger-McHugh towards the boundary side.
I'd like
over the line.
Stat for Heathmont's marks in defensive 50 would be very low.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
So they've got to hold on here, the Jets. They cannot concede another one. Make it extremely hard going into three-quarter time. Got to probably pinch one themselves. There's Noops in the ruck. Begley. Mullinger-McHugh got his handball. It's cut off by Luke Hannon. He's had a big quarter. Off to Mitch Mellis. Back to Noops. Noops centres it. The Jets in front position at the back there. Almost on Edwards. Hare. Collins now. Handball backwards. Duke missed it. And we're going to get a stoppage here. Back in the middle ground. Coming up the 26-minute mark. Boundary side with Jared Beanland.
Just wanted to point out that was a really good effort by Grayson. He was against several Boronia players and managed to force the stoppage.
So here's Dryce down at ground level. Coming in there like Tink. Heron. That's up in a tackle, and again
23 tackles to 14 is this quarter in favour of Boronia.
Yeah, favour of Boronia. The pressure's been there. Tapped down by Hannon. Phillips. Just continue to go forward. Here's Fairchild. Had plenty of it. Wrapped up in a tackle by the captain of the Heathmont Football Club, Jordan Haynes. So ball up just outside. Boronia's forward 50. One more goal would make things really hard. Coming into the last quarter, Begley. Throws it on the boot. Out the back there, using his body well, Luke Hannon. And Hannon will have a set shot to give the Hawks a 28-point lead on the eve of three-quarter time.
Well, he did some body work.
Yeah. Perfect body work there by Hannon.
Used his body well against a smaller opponent. Thought he's had a massive third quarter. And this would top it off with a goal. You betcha. Shushes the crowd. 11-7-73. Heathmont 6-9, 45. 27 and a half minutes gone third quarter. 28-point lead.
All that Heathmont can do now is try and just get a stoppage after rain, hold it out till three-quarter time, and maybe reassess in the last quarter. Well, we're 27 and a half.
They're going to have to they're going to have to dig extremely deep here, Heathmont.
Yeah. Well, they can't go on their shells now, can they?
No, they cannot. They've got to go full out attack.
But I think Ray's right. They've got to get to three-quarter time to reassess and reevaluate. Evans trying to strength his way through the contest. He's got some help, but they hand it back to him, and he's got three tacklers on his back, but he still shrugs them off, gets a hand pass, but no advantage for Heathmont.
The actual player with the ball did a sling tackle on his opponent.
Yes. Evans rolled him and that is three-quarter time. That was the Hawks' quarter. They might be on their way to a premiership, but it's three-quarter time. Boronia leading 11-7-73. Heathmont 6-9, 45. We'll go to a break with now Boronia leading by 28 points at three-quarter time in the Division 2 Grand Final.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in, because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet: pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Boronia Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
Listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1
with live and exclusive coverage of the season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Division 2 Grand Final live from Walker Park. 3-quarter time here, and Boronia lead 11-7-73 to Heathmont 6-3. 6-9, 45 I'm Ryan Long. Gav Casey, Paul Uconi, Ray Baird, Wayne Brasher. Brasher, I'll throw it at you first. Big quarter from the Hawks. Sets up a 28-point lead.
Yeah, and it's always the classic. The third quarter is the premiership quarter. I think Matty Clark has probably pulled off the move of the afternoon. He's put Fairchild in the middle, and Fairchild has just taken the game by the scruff of the neck. He's been bullocking through that Heathmont midfield, and he knocks into that Boronia forward 50, has opened up the contest for the Boronia runners to run onto the contest. I thought Luke Hannon really started to come into his own in that corner, and even Josh Hannon started to win the game and win some taps on his terms. Campbell Evans is trying extremely hard. Let's go down to you, Jared Beanland.
I've got Scott Hamill, coach of Heathmont. Belief was the main word of the huddle right then. How much is that important for you guys at this point?
Oh, it's massive. We can't afford to drop our heads. They kicked a couple late ones there. We just got to make sure we stay involved in the game and get ourselves back on terms and let them sit behind the contest. They're spreading themselves forward, so we've got to cut down their run. And 30 minutes to go, we can kick goals quickly and we can score freely. So we'll be backing ourselves in to have a crack.
And given the fact that you were speaking so much about morale and spirit, I take that means you're backing your game plan for this final quarter.
100%. We continue to back ourselves in. We continue to attack and try and win this game of footy. We're not going to win this game of footy by defending. We're going to come out and attack now.
Thanks, Scott. Good luck.
And he's right. They can't afford to deviate from their game plan, but they're going to have to throw the kitchen sink and a bit more at it, because if Boronia gets the first goal, it's going to be very hard mentally for Heathmont to get back into the contest.
Yeah, 100%. And they did a lot right in that first half and even the start of that third quarter, but Hawks just started to overwhelm them, so they cannot go back in their shell. They've got to continue to fight this one out, take the game on, Ray.
And they've got to hit the corridor as much as possible and, just take it on.
So I've moved Bailey Stevens into the midfield. Had a really good first half, went out of it then in that last quarter. Be interesting to see how he goes the final term.
Boundary.
Well, Begley's now gone into the midfield with Luke Hannon. So Matty Clark has basically said, okay, I'm putting all the chips in.
We'll go boundary side.
Sorry, boys, a little communication difficulties there. But I was over at the Boronia huddle there with Matt Clark. He was just saying that he wants to lift with them. He knows that they'll come, but he wants Boronia to surge it forward and just don't play safe. Just keep playing their brand of football.
Well, they can finish this game in a... we'll go boundary side, JB.
Sorry, mate, I've just seen Finn Brown starting on a wing. So he's going to be trying to work his way into the game from there.
Got to get involved somehow. But they can finish this game in 2 or 3 minutes here.
Yep.
One more goal would seal it. You would just about say...
Well, it's 5 or 6 5 or 6 goals in a row for Boronia in that quarter. Did Heathmont kick the first goal of the quarter or the second goal?
Second, I think it was.
Okay. Back and forth for a bit in that start.
So it's 5 goals in a row.
Final quarter of the Division 2 Grand Final. Boronia lead by 28 points.
Rucks go at it. Hannon's full of leaping. Goes over the top at Evans. Does some good groundwork to get on top of it, but he hands it back to the brother, Luke Hannon. Luke Hannon spills it forward for Boronia. No marking contest there for Boronia as Robertson goes the roving duties. Allows the defenders to go up unattended, but they all spill it. And Eckard will hand the ball back to the umpire. Deep in the forward line for Boronia after the first clearance. They're on a bit of a stretch now, stretching out to 28-point lead at three-quarter time. Heathmont under a heap of pressure. Clear the decks with a long ball. Malone's been good with marking options. He just spills it when body contact comes on him. So the ball's spilled out to Stevens. Sharks a hand pass, but gives it up with his own hand pass. And again, Hancock is there to do some good mopping up as the kick doesn't find Max Brasher for Boronia. So the kick goes out wide to Burley. Goes one bounce, maybe two. No, decides to spear a ball into the options, and it's going to be a holding decision. Go the way. Colombo plays on. Long ball into the pocket. Goes from right flank to left pocket, and the advantage wasn't a scoring one for Heathmont. So the holding free kick to the marker, or the attempted marker for Heathmont, was a play-on situation, and it's out of bounds at left forward pocket. Scoreboard end, and it reads a minute into the last quarter. Boronia 11-7-73, leading Heathmont 6-9-45. Hasn't been too many inside 50s since they had the lead. And there's a free kick off the ball. Boronia was giving a bit of heat to his opponent, and I think Burgess had enough of him, threw him down to the ground, and the umpire said that's a free kick to the Heathmont player.
Look, it's a free kick, but it's a soft free kick as far as I'm concerned. You know.
I reckon sometimes it's you almost just say we'll ball it up and you guys can just
that's right.
calm down.
Yeah.
But a free kick is paid because it's holding off the ball, and it'll be Brayoni kicking from 40 metres out. Much needed goal if it goes through. And he's pulled it to the left, minor score, 46 plays 73. Heathmont trail by 27.
Had to kick that goal.
And another free kick will be given. This time it's against Heathmont in off-the-ball play, and it'll be a march down to 25 or even more. The umpire's really penalising Heathmont and Colombo in that occasion. So the kick out is effectively 40 metres out, and Burgess will take the kick, gets a short pass to Bolton, who have been very steady players for Boronia.
Yeah, Brett Beston's love child.
His favourite player, Jess Bolton, down the line for the Hawks. Almost a big fly and a mark. Out the back, here's Jared Lake, who's pushed up forward. Keeps the ball in front. Luke Hannon has done very well. Right foot, inside 50, dangerous spot. Big fly from Fairchild. You've got the Crummers there. Grice, though, picks it up, and he's called to play on. This kick out wide for Burley. Did well. Off to the captain in Haynes. Haynes handballs it in front of him. He'll pick this up. No, he won't. It'll be out of bounds. So just go back to that set shot. If they are going to win, you cannot be missing those ones. That will be costly, and then giving away a 25-metre penalty right after. Trailing by 27 points the Jets. First goal to the Hawks would make this very, very difficult. Out the back is Phillips, smothered by Isaacs. Campbell Evans ducked his head, got the handball, tapped forward there by Begley. Cleared out by the Jets. Now it's a chance. Colombo could run onto this. He might. He does. He can take a bounce if he chooses. Goes to short kick. And finds Mulligan. Very chance for the Jets.
Very risky taking a short kick when you're running into goal. He could have run another 25 metres before he had to kick it.
Well, I thought he would. He had time to take a bounce.
It would have been a commentator's dream, him going all the way there.
Yeah, he looked dangerous. But Mulligan state the absolute obvious. Has to kick this. They won't win if he doesn't.
2 misses.
He's missed a couple times. Mulligan puts it through, keeps the Jets alive. 7-10-52. Boronia 11-7-73. Back to 21 points.
Yep. Once again, a turnover from that Boronia back 50.
Well, I think Colombo's lucky that Mullinger McHugh's so tall because it was overcooked.
That's
the short
right.
pass.
And, you're running in a goal like that, you back yourself in the kicker, because not only that, when he kicked and his mate marked it, the clock's ticking over all the time, and they haven't got time.
Evans wins the tap down. Trying to get onto it was Malice. Boronia trying to get it forward with a bit of muscle. Begley's there or thereabouts, gone into the middle for this quarter. Brown finally gets on his hands on the ball, and he gets a free kick. It's going to Colombo off the ball. There's a lot happening off the ball, and the umpires are all over it. And they've had a good day, I reckon. The umpires, give them some credit. Don't often like to, but it's now a kick going from the centre for Heathmont. Inside forward, 50. Boronia can't get onto it, decides to try to kick it off the ground, misses the mid-air swipe at it. So Boronia, deep in their defence, are trying to hold up nicely. And Heathmont, they're rushing themselves. They've got all quarter. If they get two things right, they're only within 4 goals. 1 or 2 goals will put pressure on Boronia. It's been a surge game. Boronia can't get it out. Clearing kick smothered because the kick went straight into Mullinger McHugh, and it's gone out of bounds. 40 metres around from Heathmont's goal. 21-point margin. 7-10-52 Heathmont. Boronia 11-7-73. 6 minutes gone. 4th term. Can momentum swing the way of the Jets? They're getting some territory inside 50s. Ground level ball taken by Mitch Malice. Under heap of pressure. Coughs it up. Boronia gets it into the forward line again. Malone in the right spot to take a mark. Top of the goal square. In front position. He takes a chest mark, falling to the ground. He's been a good player with 2 goals, and if he gets his 3rd, it might just be game on again.
Yeah.
The Jets fans will be up and about if Malone can shoot straight from 20 metres out. He pulls it a little bit, makes the umpire work, but he'll get himself back to the middle of the goals, and he'll put the 2 fingers out for a goal. It's now Heathmont 8-10-58, closing the gap to 15. Boronia 11-7-73. 3rd goal to Malone might just keep them in the contest.
Well, that 3-quarter time siren probably came best time possible for them. They've been able to steady.
Yep.
First 2 of the quarter, done it enough to get back into this contest.
Well, Boronia now they can't panic. They just got to just settle the game down and get it back onto their turn.
And for Heathmont, they can't undo their good work and let Boronia have a quick one back. So back in the middle, Hannon and Evans. Fascinating contest. Here's Begley in the middle. He's tackled. We'll get a ball up. 7.5 minutes gone. Last term, Division 2 Grand Final. 11-7 to 8-10. Boronia lead. Mellis. Gang tackled by 3 Jets, and it's a high free kick, so Mitch Mellis.
I absolutely.
What's happened here? To Colombo. So what? Did anyone see that one?
No.
So Colombo's gets a free kick inside 50 at the back. Duke bounced off the top of his head to Ryan Young. Young, right boot, dangerous ball below, bounced off the chest. Here's Begley. Begley to clear it out. Over the top, Max Brasher has Mitch Mellis running by. Steadies.
Steady. Oh, what's he done? Cramp. A bit of cramp.
So Max Brasher towards the boundary side. Nick Newts will fly. And a boundary throw-in's probably a good result for the Hawks.
Brasher's coming off there with cramp.
That's severe.
So Fairchild will replace him.
Boundary side. Yeah, they spoke to him at 3-quarter time. He obviously had some tightness already, and they were just saying keep warm. So it's obviously playing up in this quarter.
So boundary throw in. Here's Begley, the bull, riding through and earns himself a free kick.
Baronia's.
Yep, Begley.
Oh, sorry.
Against Evans, I believe. So Begley inside 50. Who's there to take the mark? Out the back, puncher behind, free kick. Free kick Heathmont. So deep into attack. Harry Isaacs to take this one. Trailing by 15 points.
Oh, he's torped it. The big barrel. And it's going to bounce in favour of Burley. No. Edwards in front, but we're excited when the ball spirals like that. We don't often see it.
Yeah, we like the old, we like those torps.
He's got a big kick. He kicked the goal last week where he accidentally kicked the goal because it went over the defenders and forwards trying to mark it. And he's a big kick. Is Isaacs clears the decks with a spiral, but again we'll have a ball up from the boundary throw in. It's game on. 15-point margin to Boronia. They had their surge. Now Heathmont. Are they in the middle of one? They've kicked 2 this term to close the gap. 28-point margin at three-quarter time. Looked almost game over, but they've kicked two early on in the first 10 minutes. Have Heathmont. The clearing kick is not much of a clearing kick. It's either on the full or deliberate. The umpire will pay a free kick to Colombo. Spears a ball in, finds his skipper in Haynes. Haynes will get on the run. Colombo will help him with that. Now running ball. All the forwards fell over. Were they pushed over? No, says the umpire. And again, Lake's there to take a mark. And that's where Boronia have a good advantage with the defenders taking marks. Short pass finds Bolton. And Bolton looks at options in the back pocket and will just try to steady the nerves of the Hawks. Not looking at switches. He's going to go down the line. Got some big boys underneath it, but no mark taken. Hand pass forward, can't get it. Hancock gets in the way, goes back into traffic, but hooks around a kick. In back position was Mulligan Mahue, but he's been outpointed by the defender there. And
Burgess, Harry Burgess.
Nice mark by Burgess. Had himself underneath the ball, takes the mark in good position. Loads up a long ball, clearing ball. Markers no there, and then there's a free kick in the contest. Front position for the Hawks. Edwards is wanting to play on. The umpire's not convinced that that is an advantage that should be taken, and he'll give it to the free kick taker. And that's is that Collins or is that?
I think it's Hannon.
Hannon.
Yeah,
Josh Hannon. Josh Hannon's got it back of centre wing, and all the flooding back now by the Heathmont. They don't want to concede goals this quarter. Long ball inside 50. Isaac's good for the punch. Allows Hancock to rove it, but his kick's been knocked off it. Isaacs can't get onto it. It's in Hannon's hands. Luke Hannon hands it back to Mallis. Mallis spearing ball. Beats everyone. Goes to the line. Might be a conceded point. It will be. And under a heap of pressure there was Brown, and Reuben Brown's allowed to concede the point legally. It's a minor score for Boronia. 11-8-74. 16-point advantage over Heathmont. 8-10-58. 11.5 minutes, fourth quarter.
So the Jets to clear this one out. They've been the fairy tale story in the final series. They'll earn themselves a free kick here. It'll be towards Quirk or Evans. Evans will take this. No, it is Quirk.
The free kick.
Nice try, Campbell. So Quirk now sends it down the line, looking for Malone. He's been dangerous out the back there. Was that Mullins Mahue? Out of bounds. Colombo screams. 12 minutes gone last quarter. 11-8-74 Boronia. 8-10-58 Heathmont. 16 points. The Jets will not go away. They've been brave. Hawks had a big third quarter to set up a bit of a lead, but other than that, it's been pretty even. This ball now, Luke Hannon runs that out, and Hannon's been probably one of the best players on the ground. Had a massive third quarter.
Yeah, he has.
That set up what is now a 16-point lead. They won't be comfortable with that. They want more. Jets need the next one. Noops in the ruck. Here's Begley. Second attempt. Got it off to Luke Hannon. Off to the runner in Mellors. He'll take a bounce. He's got space. Takes a kick forward into space here. Can run onto this one. It's Heathmont. All the numbers here. O'Connor. The kick was smothered. And now a chance for Boronia. Top of the square is Robertson. It's a one-on-one in front position. Controls it well. Keeps it in front. Andy Phillips comes in. Heathmont are under the pump here. Kick forward. Chance. Here's Fairchild. Right boot. Fairchild! Hawks 12-8-80. Jets 8-10-58. 13.5 minutes gone last quarter. And is that enough? It's 22 points. There's still time.
That's the one. Not only does it get them an extra 6 points in front, but that takes the wind out of the sails of Heathmont, that goal, because Heathmont were on a roll there. But look, Mitch Mellis, the way he carried the ball, he carried the ball, he's running, he kicked it into the open spaces where his teammate was going to run onto it.
How good was Robertson? He had the numbers against him. Yeah. He just kept it in the position where they could take advantage. Yeah. Young chucks the ball out of the middle. Go Heathmont. Now they go long. Bouncing ball won't get to the leading option. Duke picks it up. Now he goes for a run and he kicks it long out of wing, but it's all Heathmont and it's in the hands of Heron. He's wanting to probably play quick. Short pass up to the leading option. Colombo honours the with a good lead and a good mark outstretched. Pushed over late, but he picks himself up. Boundary line. He goes around the man on the mark. Nicely dodged him with selling a bit of candy, but the ball can't find his teammate in Young, who was late to the contest anyway, and it's out of bounds in the pocket. 80 plays for 58. That last goal steadied the nerves for Boronia.
Yeah.
14 and a half minutes last quarter. But Fairchild, what an impact player he's been in the second half with 2 goals. And moving into the middle in the third quarter was a bit of genius from Clark, but it's in Heathmont's area. They can't get control of it. They're scrapping for it still. And Heathmont can't get it forward because the tackles applied by Boronia have been good. And Nooks, the ruckman, applied a late tackle.
Boundary.
Let's go boundary side for comment.
Chris Colombo limping off. I'll have more on that soon.
Yeah, it's he looks a bit ginger. He's done a lot of running today. He's been a fine tryer, but the kick inside 54, Heathmont's been chopped off, and this is where the defenders, and this time it's Mitch Mallis coming back just to take a relieving mark.
He's done well the last 5 minutes, Mitch Mallis. He's dropped back into the hole in that back six for for Boronia.
Long ball to the wing, Flyers go for it, no mark taken. Mullinger McHugh couldn't get it out in the open. Eckerd gets it, his kick is found a teammate, but I don't think he meant it to be marked by a man only 15 metres in front of him, but happy to get the ball. Young, long ball inside 50. Outnumbered are all Heathmont. Brown just goes the spoil in the end. Boronia picks it up, goes for the snap, just misses on the huge congestion. Tight angle, misses to the right. Minor score, 21 the difference. 80 plays 59, Boronia leading, 16 minutes gone.
So, 21-point lead.
Boundary.
Pretty much everything has to go right now for the Jets if they're to get up here. Jared Beanland, boundary side.
Yeah, he's clutching his hamstring there, Chris Colombo. It's pretty clearly pulled.
So, Harry Burgess to take the kicking for the Hawks. 21 points in front. Probably another 10 minutes ago. Goes down the line. Lake in the middle of it. Punch from behind. Edwards picks it up nicely in defence. The kick. A bit of a one-on-one, and it's well done there by Jake Mellis, who wins out. Got runners everywhere. Collins off to Mitch Mellis. Can take a bounce. Can take a second bounce. Passes over the top. Off to Begley. Runner in the squares. Robertson! And that might be your grand final. 13-8-86 the Hawks. 8-11-59 Jets. 17 minutes gone last quarter.
Absolutely amazing. You don't get a better goal than that. You know, it was Lake on the half back line that intercepted the ball and off they went. They just ran, hand pass. That was magnificent football by Boronia.
There was going to be one play, I reckon, for Boronia that was going to be the knockout punch.
Yeah.
That is the knockout punch right there and then.
Well, that's the difference. They're not running in congestion, they're running away from congestion when they're up and going.
Are Heathmont feeling the toll of playing final after final?
That's right.
Well, it's a high impact game, tackling, stoppages. And Boronia just have the energy through Mallis once he's running, and the overlap was it was like a game of drafts. The defender comes, go over the top. One defender comes to him, over the top to Robertson, goal. So it's Heathmont again, been good out of stoppages. Haynes fights his way, gets it to Stevens. Stevens with a long ball. The defenders fly at it. They might have spilled the mark between them. Kick off the ground by Brown. He hasn't had many off his boot, and it's smothered anyway, and dribbles over a minor score as Boronia couldn't claim it. And Boronia have been good at defence.
Tell you what, Jared Lake's had a game for the ages. He's been fantastic this afternoon.
If we're talking MVP, he'd be up there for the medal.
Oh, yeah, he has to be up there.
There's quite a few options at the moment. 13-8-86 the Hawks. 8-12-60 the Jets. It's a big 26-point lead. Collins off to Lake. There he is again. Kick into space. It's a one-on-one here. Douglas against Phillips. Douglas gets it, but he's met by Phillips, who brings him down.
That's well done by Phillips. He's still running as if there's still plenty in this game. That could have easily gone back into a forward 50.
But Grice out of the ruck. Through on the boot. It's cut off. And now again, they've got runners again. It's Mellis. Off to Jello, inside 50. Begley out the back. Read it well. Keeps it in. Keeps it on the boot. Into a dangerous spot. There's Robertson! It's 4! He's kicked 4 and the Hawks are home. 14-8-92. Heathmont 8-12-60.
Credit goes to Begley then. He kept the ball in. It was running right along the boundary line, and he kept it in with a little toe poke sort of kick out into the open.
I think he wanted more toe on it, but eventually got to Robertson. who dodged a few shadows and kicked it from top of the goal square. Let's go boundary side.
Yeah, just quickly, from Max Brasher's perspective, he wants to come back on, but coaches are saying with what's going on, I think just rest. His legs are both bandaged, just tightness and cramping.
We're approaching time on fourth quarter. Boronia 14-8-92 lead Heathmont 8-12-60. It's a game-breaking lead, of course, and it's a free kick though, going from the contest to holding the man off the ball.
I'll be honest,
conceded the free kick to Heathmont.
I think Heathmont have had the rub off the umpires this afternoon with some of the decisions.
Well, I think the ball's been so in tight, the umpires keep control by the whistle, and I reckon they've done a good job.
I'm not saying they haven't done a good job, but
Haynes has got it, goes long. He's 2-on-2. The Flyers aren't allowed to fly because Boronia are good in strength, and Malice at ground level picks it off, kicks it to touch, and he finds touch 50 metres away from goals.
His last quarter, Mitch Malice, has been absolutely phenomenal.
It's been great that he's gone down inside the defensive 50. Yep.
I think that allows him to run at the ball because he was getting harassed by his opponents.
Puts him in contention.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Rucks go at it. Mullinger, McHugh and Hannon. Grice tried to get it out to a teammate, but there's a wrestle for the ball, and Young will have to hand it over to the umpire. So they had a chance. They had a bit of momentum early in this fourth quarter, but Boronia, best side all year, home and away, have proven to be the best side for Division 2 in 2023. But they will get another scoring opportunity if it goes their way. It's been tapped forward. Now the up at Malice, Jake Malice was looking to be the hand pass receive, but it couldn't be got to him by Jello, who ran into a brick wall and
got a
Haynes,
free kick.
Well, the brick wall was a bit too over the shoulder, and Jello, he kicks it into the man of mark, but he gets a second go at it. Take two, bouncing ball, just being spiked forward. Jello comes again with the punch, gets it inside for Isaacs to try to mop up with Burley, but they can't keep control of the ball, and they're under a heap of pressure, and Boronia have a sniff of the Premiership Cup, and they are hard at it as it's handed back to the umpire by O'Connor. Ball up 50 metres from goal. Nearly 22 minutes gone in this quarter. Punch goes the way and falls the way of Phillips. Phillips high up and under. Two go for the mark. Ground level ball, Grice. He tries to trap it into play. Now he's looking for a hand pass, but he can't get away from the tackler, and we ball up 20 metres from goal. So Grice has tried hard. He's been just a little touches and a little bit of smartness, just like that.
Just the experience is in those clutch moments Grice has provided this afternoon.
He knows when to hold it and he knows when to release it.
Yeah. Brash is going back on, Brash.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on there now.
So the ball can't get clear for Young, but he just slips out of the tackle, and then he hand passes up to a teammate in Eckhart. His kick can't find a teammate, and it eludes all and goes out of bounds at half back. And it's a great moment as we go boundary side for some comment.
Yeah, Brasher is, I bet you can see, he's still limping a bit, but he's used communication to win it. Obviously wanted to get on for the final siren.
He's got a long off-season to recover from any knocks and injuries. And the celebrations will probably be long and be soothed by some medication maybe tonight.
Yes, 100%. Jets have been very brave today. Haynes. It's out to 32 points now. Lake just throws on the boot. It's intercepted there by Hancock, who's fought hard today for the Jets.
Yeah, he's tried
Kick
hard.
forward, could be intercepted there by Fairchild. It is. Punches it into a dangerous spot. Grice out to Fairchild. If he can pick it up on a tough angle. Haynes picks it up for the Jets. Will clear it out, but it might come straight back because there's Mellis who flies. Duke inside looking for Grice, but over the cooked it. Just found O'Connor for the Jets, who looks to switch it. It's a chance. It's a one-on-one.
Yeah,
Free kick here given to Douglas from the Jets. Short kick. Tried to find a teammate. Works out okay here. Now a chance for Heron to go inside 50. Mark taken. Is that Malone?
Yeah.
It is Malone, who has been very brave this afternoon.
Yeah, he's provided a focal point, Malone. He's
been dangerous.
He's been very dangerous.
I like this game. He's going to take
going back for his fourth goal of the day.
So Malone for goal number 4.
He's got it.
Beautiful kick. Malone's kick 4. And the Jets move to 9-12-66. Trailing the Hawks 14-8-92. 24 minutes gone. Final term. Division 2 Grand Final.
Well, you can't say Postman Malone hasn't done his job. He's delivered with 4 goals.
That's right. Look, it's been a huge crowd today, and I think everybody, irrespective of what team you were supporting today, you'd walk away happy because it's been a fantastic game of football.
Jets have been very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
I think for execution of game plan, this is what they've done their best.
Yeah.
For the side and the fact that they've had 3 hard games leading into this game.
You got to be proud if you're a Jets fan.
Yeah.
Mitch Mallis will take it out, and he's taking a bounce, and that's from a centre clearance. He gets on the hand pass received from Edwards, hands it over to Hare. Hare goes the boundary line. He just lets it go, but he gets it, walks his way out of the tackle from the right pocket. He'll walk it around, not a goal, and Hancock will take the mark in the other pocket. Would have been exciting, but it turned out to be a no-score kick. And Mitch Mallis is getting cleaner as the game gets longer, and he's getting more involved in the game. Ground level ball again. It's in the hands of Boronia. Duke trying to evade a tackler, gets the kick forward. Nice mark, no, dropped ball by Brasher. Injured though, hands it over to the teammate. Kick inside 50, been chopped off. Heron's there to help as he gets it from half-back, gets it into the centre of Walker Park. It's 1v1. The taller option knocks away in Bolton. Can't find a teammate. Falling over the ball was the Jets player. And Baroni's going to do a hand pass receive it half forward. Tries to push off with the don't argue, but Duke was all over him. And Duke, just a bit of royal behaviour, takes the free kick. And we'll get up with the free kick. So Heathmont, they just couldn't get the run going, could they?
No.
He's done all right, Duke, this afternoon in that back lock. He hasn't made too many mistakes.
No. He's dropped a few, but then his second half's been better.
Yeah.
2 minutes to go.
Duke's long kick from half back. Flyers go at it. The umpire again sees a free kick. Pushing in the marking contest will go the way of Noops. And Noops will take the free kick. They've seen everything, the umpires. Big marking contest. They've seen the pushes, so they've been in good positions. Noops loads up from half forward. Long ball in. Robertson plants himself as the tree trunk, but at ground level it's been mopped up by Van Leeuwen. He runs one way, then he runs himself into a bit of trouble. Haynes is there to help, but he spills it. Edwards is there to capitalise from the pocket. Hand pass received from his opponent, and on the spot he hooks it around. He loves the right pocket. Second goal for Edwards. Celebration time for Boronia as they kick clear to a 32-point lead. 98 plays 66.
Boundary.
So go boundary side.
And just quickly, Max Brasher back off, so he needed to time it a little bit better in his timing, and he said that's it for my day, I think.
Well, 27 minutes gone. There's a minute left to play in the Division 2 Grand Final. It'll be premiership number 10 for the Hawks. 15-8, 98. Heathmont 9-12, 66. Been the best side all year in Division 2. Heathmont have given it a real crack this afternoon, but they're not going to get there. Hannon in the middle. Here's Stevens to the Jets, inside 50, bouncing ball over the top. Matty Heron punches it in front of Hanson. Duke did very well, and he's caught in a tackle though, and he's pushed apparently. So, earned himself a free kick. Deanbit defence. Siren is very close. He'll look to clear it out. Here's Begley up against his opponent there in Lake Tink and took the mark over the top. First year at the Hawks, Josh Begley re-signed for next season. They're going to be very hard to beat again. They'll come in as the hunted, and there's Mitch Mellis.
Yeah, I think he's been best. He's really nailed it in the second half.
He goes backwards, Bolton, and they'll just milk this out. The experienced Jess Bolton.
What a great story for him.
Out of defence, Collins lies.
He was crucial in the first half, Collins.
Yeah, another big game. Jaden Collins. 28 and a half minutes gone. He'll just kick it down the line. Matt will get it late down. And there's Isaac. There's the siren. A grand old flag out for Boronia. 15-8-98 have defeated the Jets 9-12-66 for premiership number 10. Yes, what a fantastic grand final to margin of 32 points in the end, Ray. What a fantastic contest, and Heathmont really stuck with him for a while. They were brave. It was a long finals run for them, but the best side of the division this year has been the Boronia Football Club, and they make it on the grand final day by 32 points and win.
Boundary.
Let's go down the boundary. Jared Beanland, who's got a player.
I've got Jared Lake with me here. Mate, what's the feeling, straight up?
Oh, look, it's just, it's the best feeling in the world, honestly. It's like, it's 12 months of work, all just in one, just relieving game, mate. That's all I can describe it as. It's just, I'm just really looking forward to tonight. I'm so proud of all the guys and the hard work they've put in. Yeah.
And a goal for yourself. How good is that in a grand final as a defender?
Mate, I love going forward and getting the goal, especially when I can keep my man goalless and then go forward and kick one of my own. And I thought that goal sort of broke their spirits a little bit as well. So, yeah, no, it was really nice kicking the goal.
It came at an important time, didn't it? And every player played their role today for you guys. That's something that I noticed. Obviously something that the coaches are going to be putting into you guys as much as they can throughout the year. How do you feel about the team around you, the guys that have your back, everyone around playing their role?
We were talking about it. This is the closest group that our senior coach has been coaching for a while, and he says this is the tightest group he's ever had. All the blokes that give you the skin off their own back. We had 22 contributors today, but we've also got some superstars to top us off as well. So yeah, it's really exciting for us.
And obviously, it's not just the players as well. There's so many people around here, the fans, the staff, everyone.
Mate, this club is it's absolutely roaring at the moment, and it's ready to take the next step up. Yeah, it's ready for it.
Thanks, mate. Well done.
And Lake, what an important player he proved to be all year.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Fantastic. Did he make a mistake today?
Not really,
No.
I think he lowered Finn Brown's colours.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, they actually had to move Finn Brown to 3 different parts of the game.
And he came off of the bench to inject.
Yeah, just couldn't. Look, at the end of the day, it was that third quarter. We always sort of knew that if Boronia got their outside run going, Heathmont were going to be hard pressed, right, to go back into another gear, right? Sorry.
Yeah, you're right, Bash. Look, they were very courageous, though, Heathmont. You've got to give them their credit due, but they just come up against the best in the competition today, and they held Boronia to half time, and it was just that third quarter that Boronia kicked those 5 goals 2 to 1 goal 3, and that was basically the game.
Yeah, that extra run, look, they had a lot of,